George F. Collins Stadium on the campus of Tahlequah High School. For this 2025 regular season football open. Tigers and your coach. Kickoff will happen directly, but first, reminder. Respect the opponent. Spectators, coaches, and officials are necessary at all levels of athletic and academic programs. At today's game,
good evening. Welcome to George F. Collins Stadium, your home for Tahlequah Chieftain football. My name is Gregory. My colleague is Braden Ward. We'd like to thank our viewers for joining us tonight on YouTube on Chieftain TV on YouTube, and our radio listeners listening in on 1550 AM and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa. Braden, we've got a lot to cover. We're about 20 minutes away from kickoff. Let's talk about this 2025 team. We'll start on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, coming off a really successful season last year. What can we expect to see from this offense in 2025?
Well, I'll start with the low-hanging fruit. The junior quarterback now has a year under his belt. Braddock's just really got better each game last year. So the expectations are high for him this year. But he also has a receiving corps that does not lack any talent. You'll see a lot from number 1, Jackson Stone. Some new faces on the offensive line, so we're excited to kind of see how that shapes up. But all in all, a lot of returning starters on the offense and defensive side.
Yeah, and to your point, we were talking to Coach Tim Holt yesterday. Obviously, the play caller and head coach of this football team. First head coach in the history of Tahlequah to lead the Chieftains to the playoffs 4 years in a row.
Wow.
They've consistently gotten better, consistently been able to reload. This team is a good mix of some veterans and some younger guys, sophomores. There's a good blend on this team, so I'm really excited to see what that looks like this year. Obviously, Jackson Stone, as you hit on, number 1 go-to for Braddock's. In the first 2 scrimmages, it's all the hard work that Braddock has put into the offseason has really shown up, and him and Jackson Stone seem to have something really special going on.
Yeah, Braddock's spent the offseason working with Cole McKee, who's someone that we played against in high school and ended up having a nice career at Colorado State. Now trains a lot of the high school quarterbacks in the area and is known as a phenomenal quarterbacks coach. So I'm interested to see him play. Obviously, we saw him in the scrimmages, but just watching him last year and what we saw in the first game when they took on Tahlequah a year ago to where he was at the end of the year in the playoffs, he made tremendous strides. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we're looking for this year.
Absolutely, and that running back room is obviously really talented. Lost a couple guys, seniors that graduated with Blake Hurt and Rashad Reynolds, but Levi Jensen's still here.
Yep.
And if you remember last year, went off for 200 yards in that playoff game here at home, and he'll be the starting running back tonight. Excited to see the type of season he has, but his backup, I didn't even recognize him when we first saw him this year.
Yeah.
Michael Bennett has put on about 15 pounds and looks really, really good. Looks really quick. He'll be playing both sides of the ball. But what are you expecting to see out of that running back room? Obviously, some really talented backs.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of Levi Jensen, like you mentioned. A lot of Michael Bennett. We did not see him on the offensive side of the ball last year. He's put on some weight. I think he's put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle. Looks like a big-time player. Deshaun Koch as well. He's been out most of the summer with turf toe. Did get cleared to play. I think he might get some carries tonight as well.
Yeah, excited to see what Deshaun brings to the offense side of the ball. Obviously, really talented defensive end. I enjoyed talking to the coach yesterday when he was talking about, Deshaun got hurt in the spring at the last team camp, like on the last play of one of those scrimmages. But they said he walked into the weight room and threw 355 on the rack and started repping it out. So obviously, really strong. I think he's put on some good weight as well. So moving to the offensive line, Braden. The most amount of players that they've had to replace starts on the offensive line. A lot of sophomores mixed in with juniors.
Left tackle number 52, Cale Bearpaw, is going to have his hands full tonight, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. And then also right tackle, number 77, Thomas Lopez. Both of them have done tremendous jobs in the scrimmage, are kind of the foundation of this offensive line. But Camden George. We talked a lot about Camden George last year on the defensive side of the ball. I think he's going to start at right guard, or at least he's going to mix in some there at the guard position. I'll be excited to see him play on the offensive line as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Camden's really talented player. I know we'll talk a lot about him when we get to the defense side of the ball, so I'll save that for here in a few minutes. The tight end room's interesting. Logan Mason, huge target for Braddock's. He's a big kid. And also we got a freshman that's going to be really exciting to watch. You don't say that very often when you're talking about varsity football.
No, you don't.
But the freshman, Brody, I really should ask the coach how you pronounce that last name. I'm not even going to try, but we'll come back to that one. But Brody, 6'6", really talented freshman. Made a few plays in the scrimmages in week 1 and week 2. Really excited to see what he brings to this team. But let's move on to the defense now. I know that's a lot to cover in a short amount of time. But Braxton Waters in his second year here, coming over from Jinx, did a fantastic job last year getting these Chieftains in the right spot. They were very physical.
Oh, yeah.
I would say for the majority of last year we were a defensive team.
Yep.
So I'll let you start with the defensive line. I have a feeling who you're going to start with. But
I already brought him up, number 65, Camden George. The coaching staff told us earlier this week they thought he had lost 15, 20 pounds and really put on some muscle, and he looks chiseled. He looks like a force to be reckoned with on the defensive line, and he had a big year last year. I think they told us it was his first year playing football since the 4th grade, only a junior this year. So he has a chance to make tremendous strides forward. And then kind of going more towards the back end, you've already talked about number 4, and I did as well, Michael Bennett, who's going to carry the ball. He's also going to move around a lot defensively. He's very physical. He can cover. You'll see him play a position very similar to, if you watch OU, they have a cheetah position. We call it the rover here at Sapulpa, but it's very similar, which I think will be a lot of fun to watch him play that spot.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about these inside linebackers. We've got Jackson Mills and Jace McIntosh. They played all the season last year. Jackson got hurt at the end of the year, but really talented linebackers. Jace is big and physical, and Jackson may not look like the biggest kid on the field, but he's a wrestler. He knows how to tackle people. He knows how to get into the ground. I don't think I've ever seen him – well, I'm sure he's missed a tackle or two, but you don't see it very often. So really excited about that linebacker group. The safety's extremely talented as well. Talking about a little bit more about last season, for the beginning of the year, the offense was struggling to get started. Obviously, young quarterback, a lot of new faces into a new system. They were a defensive team from the beginning, and I would expect that to happen again tonight.
Yeah, I would as well. You can also expect them to take some deep shots early offensively, but you will see if Tahlequah slides a safety over to shade Jackson Stone, I think we'll take what the defense gives us and run the football. And Coach Tim Holt has told us that he'll take what the defense will give him. If they'll give him 8 yards on an out route, or if they'll give him 4 yards on a run, he's going to take that every time.
Absolutely. Well, we're about 12 minutes away from kickoff here at George F. Collins Stadium. Once again, we'd like to thank our viewers for joining us on Chieftain TV, on YouTube, and our radio listeners for joining us on KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 ESPN Tulsa. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Welcome back to historic George F. Collins Stadium. And we're going to start the football season here tonight. We talked a lot about Sapulpa. Tanner, let's talk more specifically about the matchup with Tahlequah tonight. What can we expect from this Tigers offense, and what can the Chieftains do to try to slow them down?
Yeah, so, Tahlequah started week 0 last week, so they played a game already, beat East Central last week, 55-6. This offense, the Chieftain defense is going to have to do a great job of stopping the run. The run game sets up everything that the offense wants to do, but specifically the outside zone. They're going to see the inside zone, the counter, the things that we're going to see every week. But this team loves to get out on the edges and get their talented running back in some space. But that also sets up everything they do in the pass game. They want to sprint out. We're going to see a lot of sprint out tonight. We're going to see every screen known to football. Half-pass screen, wide receiver screen, a tight end screen. So the Chieftain defense has to do a good job of keeping contained, funneling everything to the middle of the defense. And if they do that and get them in a 3rd and long situation, I really like our chances of stopping this passing game.
Yeah, I think defensively for the Tigers, you can't really talk about the Tigers without talking about number 5, Kingston Hall. The 3-star Kansas State commit. I'm really excited to watch him play tonight. Keelan Bearpaw and our right tackle, Thomas.
I'm sure they're excited to see him too.
Thomas Lopez. They're going to have their hands full, but it's not going to be a one-on-one type thing. I think we'll use a tight end, or we'll use the guard next to him to try to make life easier on these tackles, because this guy's really talented. There's a reason why he's headed to Kansas State at 6'4", 275. So he's very talented. So a lot of challenges up front for the Chieftains. Now, in the back end, that's where the Chieftains can really hit some home run balls here tonight. Number 1, Jackson Stone, like you talked about, I think could see some deep shots early, especially if the wind will lay down enough for Braddock to throw the ball.
Yeah, and let's not forget about, we know that Coach Tim Holt likes to hit our running backs out in the flats too and give them space. So I'm excited to see. I think we're going to see a heavy passing attack and rushing attack, depending on how Tahlequah adjusts to what we throw at them tonight. So as the captains take the field tonight for the Chieftains, we got number 11, Jace McIntosh, number 7, Sequoia Hall, number 1, Jackson Stone, number 23, Levi Jensen, and number 65, Camden George, along with number 3, Ajo Matan. So, Braden, let's talk about Sapulpa's defense. I know we covered a lot on them earlier in the game tonight. But with this passing attack, obviously the passing attack as far as the sprint-out game goes, obviously, they're going to have to cover the flats really well.
Yeah.
I think the safeties are going to have to get involved in the run game. But sometimes when you do that and you start committing to the run game, they can get out over the top and, hurt you deep.
Yeah, I think you'll try to see the Chieftain outside linebackers and ends kind of set the edge on that sprint out. I think we're going to see that a lot. Force both quarterbacks they're going to play, Tahlequah, are very mobile, but maybe don't have the experience passing the ball of some of the other quarterbacks that we'll see this year. So really want to make them step up and try to throw the ball down the field, I think.
Absolutely. So the key players for Tahlequah tonight that you'll want to watch, obviously number 5, Kingston Hall, the Kansas State commit, but their running back, number 0, Jake Gertie.
Oh, yeah.
Very fast, can get out in space and make some guys miss. And then their tight end, a big 6'7" target, Elvis Myers.
What a name.
Great name.
Yeah.
But also he's just a big target for the quarterback to hit. They love to every now and then sneak in a little tight end screen. If the defense starts overflowing on the sprint out, they'll try to hit him on that a few times tonight, I'm sure. So moving to the Sapulpa side of the ball, who are the key players for tonight's game, Braden?
Yeah, I think, of course, it's Braddock's. Want to see him. He did a phenomenal job last year. When pressure surrounds him, he'll step up in the pocket and deliver the ball downfield. We did at times struggle with drops. I think we have some depth at the receiver position. Obviously, Jackson Stone is back. He missed a lot of last year with, I believe, an ankle injury. But he'll be a big target. And like you said, you'll see a lot of quick passes out of the backfield, maybe a wheel route from the running backs where we try to hit one down the sideline. No doubt at some point we'll see that tonight.
Absolutely. And tonight's coin toss is brought to you by American Heritage Bank. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors tonight for making this possible. And like I said earlier, we'd also like to thank our viewers for joining us on Chieftain TV. If you haven't already, go like and subscribe to YouTube. it's a good way to keep up with everything going on around the school and obviously all the games going on this season. And also our radio listeners at 99.9 ESPN Tulsa. We'd like to welcome you guys to tonight's game. We're about 3 minutes away from kickoff tonight and a good matchup ahead of us.
Yeah, and we've got some wind too, so that'll be interesting. It's a little different weather than we normally have this time of year for these games. Cooler, kind of a north wind. That'll make things interesting. So, like you said, passing the ball may be a challenge at times, but expect when the Chieftains have the wind at their back to take some deep shots.
Absolutely. Not your typical week one football weather in Oklahoma, but
not at all.
We'll take it. If it wasn't for the wind, it'd be a great night. But I'm sure the fans tonight, as they pile into the stands, good crowd here tonight, will enjoy a little bit cooler weather.
Yeah, it certainly feels like football season.
Now let's talk about the advantages, Braden, that Tahlequah has. Obviously they played last week during week 0, I guess. There was a few different games last week, but obviously Sapulpa getting their season started off tonight. What are some of those advantages that you have already being week 1 or a game into the season?
Well, I think particularly for your younger players, they're trotting out new quarterbacks this year. Don't know which one we'll see tonight. Probably see some of both. So them to have that experience under their belt, any other young players they have, that first game, especially when it's one like they had last week where you win comfortably, you get to get an experience for a lot of players, and you kind of know where you're at as a team. But the downside of that is you put more on film. You put more on film for this very, very skilled coaching staff at Sapulpa to dissect and find weaknesses and things to exploit, which Coach Tim Holt and defensive coordinator Braxton Waters are certainly very good at.
Absolutely, and like we said earlier, Coach Tim Holt, Sapulpa native, coming back to coach at his alma mater, and
just done a phenomenal job.
Phenomenal job, yeah.
Since he's been here.
And the expectations, going into this season, obviously, you keep knocking on the door of the playoffs, and you keep knocking, and they've been there 4 years in a row. Hosted their first home playoff game in 19 years last year and won that game.
Yep.
Obviously lost a tough matchup, the defending state champions Choctaw.
Yep.
But if you keep showing up enough, Braden, eventually, it just feels like this team has to bust through and, end up.
Yeah, you start to feel a buzz around the program. Like you said, consecutive years in the playoffs, getting that first playoff win in almost 20 years, and here come the Chieftains. Here they come with high expectations this year, which is something that we haven't had a lot at Sapulpa, so that's very exciting.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with having some high expectations going into the season. So, once again, thank you for joining us tonight on Chieftain TV, and to our radio listeners joining us on KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on is, I'm sure Tahlequah has dealt with this too. Coach Tim Holt did tell us that there were some players battling some of the back-to-school illnesses that always happen, the stomach bugs, the upper respiratory infections, things like that. I'm sure Tahlequah is dealing with that too. Thankfully, we have the weather that we have, so we wouldn't expect cramping to be a huge issue like we normally would.
Right.
But just a phenomenal evening for football, a phenomenal afternoon tomorrow in the state. OU hosts Michigan, and OSU travels to Eugene, Oregon for, I believe, the first time. So just a really exciting time here in the state.
Absolutely, and we better enjoy a win tonight because tomorrow we got some tough matchups.
They could be tough to come by tomorrow, that's for sure.
So it looks like Sapulpa will kick off to Tahlequah first. Tahlequah will be facing that strong north wind for this first half. So big game tonight for the Chieftains as they get the season kicked off, as we were waiting, I believe, a flyover right now.
So like Tanner said, the Chieftains will kick first, and they will kick left to right. And I believe that's with the wind, isn't it?
It is with the wind.
We will see a new field goal kicker for the Chieftains last year, our kicker was pretty automatic. We're hoping for similar fashion this season.
Absolutely. And, that's one thing with the week one with Tahlequah having the advantage of playing week 1, special teams, we don't talk about it a lot. It's not a huge focus, but it is a really important part of the game. And some of those special teams, mistakes can get worked out early on in the season. So tonight, hopefully we don't have any of those crucial mistakes as far as drop punts, or mishandling the snap. I mean, those are things that can be a really big game changer. It can really change the momentum.
Yeah, like you said, we've talked, and we have not talked about turnovers yet. Of course, early in the year, that is a huge part of how these early games turn out. If the Chieftains can win the turnover battle, most of the time you're going to win the game, and then that's what we can expect to probably see tonight.
Absolutely. One of the things I'm excited to see tonight, Coach Tim Holden mentioned they had some basketball players come join the football team this year, and I'm excited to see what those guys bring to the table. A lot of times there's a lot of athletes walking around the hallways. Like Camden George is a perfect example of that.
Oh, yeah.
Hadn't played football, I think, since the 4th grade. Comes out, has a great year last year, led the team in tackles for loss. So I'm excited to see what those new guys bring to the team and how they can contribute tonight. Just really exciting to have, a group of guys that can be difference makers out there on the field.
Yeah, the coaching staff yesterday highlighted number 2, Landon Barber, who has not played football previously, I believe, basketball player who has decided, and a good basketball player at that, decided to come out and play football. Several others as well. Very excited about that. I think several of them will play the receiver position, which will give us some depth there, and hopefully spell Jackson Stone, who's going to be playing both sides of the ball and likely running a lot of deep routes down the field, Tanner.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of a delay here. We don't know exactly what it is. Oh, helicopters. That's what it is, of course. Blackhawks are going to fly over the field tonight. I didn't know this was happening. I probably should have. It's a good reason for a delay.
Absolutely. You cannot miss the flyovers. So, good crowd tonight, supporting the Chieftains. Good to see everybody around town, excited about all the things that are going on around the community. Obviously, the new school being built, that's a big thing for Sapulpa, big thing for the athletic programs. I honestly think once this is all completed, projected to be completed at the start of the 2027 school year, 2027-2028 school year, that's a big thing. I mean, this will be one of the nicest high schools around, state-of-the-art high school as far as facilities go. So that's really exciting. Hopefully that'll bring some more athletes to Sapulpa.
Yeah, and that's something that we haven't really seen until the past few years, where you have talented athletes moving into the school district to come to school here. That's really neat. Of course, that's Braddock's case. Transferred in, won the starting job last year, and started all, 13 games, I believe, for the Chieftains last year. So just phenomenal strides forward in the community and for the town. And the Blackhawks are approaching the field. And if you're listening to us on 99.9 or AM 1550 KYAL, these are Blackhawks that are flying over the football field, coming from the south, headed north. And they have everyone's attention for good reason. And here they are. They're approaching the field, and that's pretty cool. Wow.
Standing ovation from the crowd.
Wow, pretty neat. What a way to start the football season here at George F. Collins.
Well, Braden, Sapulpa's first season dated back to 1913. Here we are 112 years later.
Wow. Historic.
That's a lot of history right there. 113 years later, here we are kicking off the 2025 season. As Sapulpa will kick off to the Tahlequah Tigers.
Yeah, Sapulpa will kick left to right, kicking with the wind. And Tanner, try and help me out with who is back there to receive for the Tigers.
Looks like we got number 10, Kel Dobbins.
Tough to see the numbers from here. But number 37, Jack Madden, will kick for the Chieftains, and it's away. And it's a good kick. He muffed it. I think they're going to give him a touchback, but that's interesting.
Well, there's those special teams mistakes we're talking about, starting off early.
They decided to give him a touchback, but I don't know how that works. He really missed the ball. It touched his hands at the 5, went into the end zone, and he grabbed it there and took a knee.
Well, I think they were blowing the whistle before he even took a knee. So
we are not going to be ones to harp on the referees, so we will let that go.
Yeah, we'll let that go.
The Chieftain defense will come out along with the Tigers offense. And it's it's an empty formation. 3 receivers to the quarterback's right, which is the wide side of the field, and 2 to the left. And the quarterback takes a snap, and it's a quick pass out, and it's dropped.
Bump.
They're gonna go. It was a lateral pass that really could have went either way as an incomplete pass or a fumble. They're gonna call it an incomplete pass.
Well, that was really close, Braden, to being a scoop and score for the Chieftains, but great defense there.
Number 1, Jackson Stone, and number 7, Jace McIntosh were all over it. Sorry, number 7, Sequoia Hall. Pistol formation for the Tigers. Trips up top. Those are to the quarterback's right, which is the wide side of the field. And the Tigers will check. They'll change the play, it looks like. Tight end on the short side of the field, and they'll run the ball that way. And a phenomenal job. It was a stretch play, and the Chieftains were all over it, Tanner. Number 13, Dawson Godlin, swarmed to the football.
Dawson was another guy the coaches were talking about. Really excited to see what he does this year, and that's a great start coming from that free safety position and making the tackle.
So it'll be 3rd and 8, and the Tigers will come out in trips formation again. The receivers to the quarterback's right. Watch the sprint out. There it is. The quarterback sprints out and throws it, and it's caught for a first down. It was a stop route, and it was a well-thrown ball.
Looks like number 10, Kel Dobbins
just enough for a first down.
Number 10, Kel Dobbins there on the reception.
Good execution from the Tigers offense to get a new 1st and 10. We're almost a minute into the first quarter of the football season here.
One thing to watch for, when Tahlequah gets in that 2-back formation, they're a heavy run team. And here it is right here.
Pistol formation. Tight end on the short side of the field with an H-back and 2 receivers to the bottom. And it's a handoff. And number 65, Camden George, blew it up. Wow. And number 4, Michael Bennett. Boy, we talked about him a lot. He's a big-time player. He was back there as well to finish it off.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about Camden George being a key player to tonight's game, just blowing that play up from the beginning. And the Chieftains did a really good job, which is something I'm really impressed with. They always pursue the ball. There's never just one guy there. It's usually a host of Chieftains.
That's right. So it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Tigers. And they'll check the play. They've got two H-backs and 2 receivers out wide, and the running back to the quarterback's right. And he'll take the snap, and they'll try to throw, and it's a stop route, a hitch route, and it's a good run after catch. Number 1, Jackson Stone was on the coverage, kind of missed the tackle there.
Looks like he stepped out of bounds.
I think they'll say he went out of bounds, so maybe we didn't miss the tackle, and it'll be 3rd and 6.
Well, this is the situation you want to get Tahlequah into. 3rd and long.
Right.
You want him to drop back and pass, and we'll see here if the Chieftains decide to send some pressure.
It looks like they'll target number 2, Michael Torkelson, a lot. So Tahlequah will once again look like they're going to check the play. I don't know if they're actually they might actually be changing the play. So 2 receivers again, a tight end and an H-back to the quarterback's left, and it's actually a handoff. And there's a flag, and I think it's going to be a hold. The running back, I believe, picked up enough for the first down. It was a inside zone, and he bounced it out to the short side of the field and may have picked up enough for the first down, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's coming back. I think there was some pretty serious holding on the interior, and there was.
Number 24, Demarion McKinney checking into the game, and along with number 51, Donovan Mosquito for the Chieftains. Checking into the D-line, giving big Camden George a break.
So we've got 3rd and 11 for the Tigers. They converted on 3rd and long last time. We'll see if they have the same success here. So it'll be pistol formation again. Nope, sorry. Running back lines up to the quarterback's right. A tight end, 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen to the quarterback's left. And they'll try to throw it down the field, but there was a disconnect, and it's almost intercepted. Great coverage from the Chieftain defense there. Number 1, Jackson Stone was right there, along with number 13, Dawson Godlin.
Well, that's a great first series for the Chieftains.
Yeah, good job defensively. We're used to seeing this Chieftain defense be tough from last season, and no surprise, that's exactly how they start the season here today. And it's going to be a tough day for punters and kickers, and it's exactly that. It takes a decent bounce and is downed at the Sapulpa 43, I believe. So about a 25-yard punt.
Well, we spoke about it in the pregame. This wind could be a factor tonight. Obviously, the Chieftains have the wind at their back during the first half, so that'll be good for the passing game. I would expect to see Jackson Stone get involved in this game early as the Chieftains come out on the field to take the first offensive series of 2025.
Yeah, keep an eye on where number 5, Kingston Hall, lines up, and he'll line up on the left side. Trips receivers to Braddock's left, the wide side of the field, and he's going to throw. And he steps up in the pocket, he throws it deep down the field, and he's got a man! It's caught! Wow! Touchdown! First play from scrimmage for the Chieftain offense, and it's 6 points.
Number 17, Bryce Curran there on the reception. Just a great job of Braddock stepping up in the pocket, avoiding the rush, and delivered a dime down the field.
I'll tell you what, Tanner, yesterday in our conversations with head coach Tim Holt, we pointed out the fact that we were very impressed with the young quarterback's ability to step up in the pocket and deliver the ball downfield, and that's exactly what he does on the first play from scrimmage of the 2025 football season. And it's a Chieftain touchdown.
Well, that's a quick scoring possession there for the Chieftains. One play, 57 yards. That'll do.
That'll do. We'll take that. So number 37, Jack Madden. What a name. We'll kick the extra point, and that one was good. A lot of leg there.
A lot of leg. The Chieftains take a 7-0 lead with 9 minutes and 37 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Once again, we'd like to thank our viewers for joining us on Chieftain TV and our radio listeners for joining us on 1550 AM and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa. Well, that's
phenomenal start to the season for the Chieftains.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better start. Obviously, talking to Coach Holt yesterday, didn't want to say this too much in the pregame, but he was really looking forward to getting the pass game going early, and you can't beat a better start than that.
No, and good protection, too, from the Chieftain offensive line, who really have their hands full tonight with the tough Tahlequah front seven. So Jack will kick it away. That's Jack Madden. Left to right, and he'll kick it with the wind, and it's another good kick, and this one will go into the end zone. A phenomenal kick from 37, Jack Madden. And he's 2 for 2 on touchbacks. And you really couldn't draw it up for a better start to the year for the Chieftains than we've had so far.
Yeah, great start to the night. Excited to see this Chieftain defense come back out on the field. Number 15 checking into the game, Emmanuel Johnson. He'll play at corner. Another young kid I'm really excited to watch. Really talented.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of substitutions from the Chieftain defense tonight, keeping guys fresh. So the Tahlequah Tigers will trot back out. 2 receivers to the quarterback's left, and they're going to go kind of quick here, and it's a handoff, and the Chieftains were all over it, a gain of nothing. And I think number 65, Camden George, was in there, and he was, of course. Number 1, Jackson Stone will come back into the game and check in for number 16, Colt Gray. Sorry, number 15, Emmanuel Johnson. Spread formation for the Tigers. 2 by 2. And they'll check the play. We've seen a lot of this so far from the Tigers in their short stints on offense. And they'll run the speed option. I haven't seen that one in a while. You don't see a lot of speed option anymore.
Don't see a lot of speed option, but that's another good tackle there by Jackson Mills. Looks like it's only good for a 2-yard gain. And we're in another 3rd and long situation here, about 3rd and 6.
Yeah, we'll have 3rd and 6 here for the Tahlequah Tigers, and the Chieftain defense will look to get another big stop to get off the field. So maybe they can take another deep shot down the field. A lot of looking to the sideline for the Tigers tonight. Keep an eye on number 7 for Tahlequah, Elvis Myers. What a name. He'll line up in the slot with 3 receivers on the wide side of the field to the quarterback's left. And they'll sprint out left. That's always hard. And there's not going to be anywhere to go with it. And there's a hold. Chieftain defense is all over it. And it's a sack for number 20, Jackson Mills. And also there's a hold, and I believe it's going to be pretty much a tackle. Penalties decline. Chieftain defense was all over it, so it'll be 4th down.
Well, another good
rough start for the Tigers here tonight.
Yeah, rough start for the Tigers, the good start for the Chieftains, as they have flipped this field position, keeping it on.
So number 1, Jackson Stone will be deep to return. And he's dangerous back there, Tanner. So the Tigers will punt from their own 23. And it's not a great snap. And it's a decent punt, given the conditions, and it takes a nice roll. It takes a really nice roll. And it goes all the way down to the Chieftains' 38, which is where they'll start. So we'll see Braddock's come back out on the field for his 2nd drive of the season here. He'll take this offense out here after hitting a 57-yard shot for a touchdown and see if they can try to up that, which would be tough to do. So Braddock's is joined in the backfield by number 23, Levi Jensen, a tight end and an H-back into the game for the Chieftains on the wide side of the field, and on the short side, 2 receivers. Levi's to the quarterback's right, and they'll hand it off to him, and it's a good run. It's a really good run. He breaks a tackle, and I think he'll get 8. Yeah, that's an 8-yard run right up the middle. If you try to arm tackle Levi, it's going to be tough for you.
He's another big physical back that we talked about earlier, but he also has a lot of speed. And that's a great push from the offensive line there. Just good.
Same formation for the Chieftains. Tight end and H-back on the wide side of the field, receivers on the short side, and it's the same play. They'll run it right up the middle and really know where to go. Good job from the Tigers defense.
A whole host of Tigers in there on the stop.
So it'll be 3rd and short. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Chieftains. And they'll make some substitutions. Into the game comes number 1, Jackson Stone. So we'll see kind of a bunch trips to the short side of the field for the Chieftains, and then Jackson Stone all alone up top. And he might have man coverage out there, but they're just going to run a stretch play, and they're going to get a 1st down. And it's a good run from Levi. He makes 1 cut. Levi's a 1-cut back. That's exactly what he is. He's up the field, and it's a nice gain all the way down to the Tigers' 45. So that'll be a 1st and 10 for the Chieftains, Tanner.
Another great run there by Levi Jensen. And I love the play call from Coach Tim Holt, just exploiting the mismatches and taking number 5, Tahlequah's best player on defense, Mr. Hall, out of the equation.
So you'll see the Chieftains looking over to get a call from Coach Tim Holt, and it'll be spread formation. 2 receivers to both sides. The ball's on the right hash. Chieftains going left to right, and they'll throw. Good blocking on number 5, Kingston Hall. Braddock steps up and runs with it, and it's a pretty good run. He makes a man miss. He kicks it outside. Woo, what a run. And he delivers a blow at the end of the... Runs through the last defender to tackle him, and it's a gain of 15. Good elusiveness, and then finishing the run by Braddock's. I think maybe we'll have him slide, though.
Well, I'm sure that's what's going through Coach Holt's mind right now. You love to see him step up and make a play.
He lowered his shoulder and ran over the Tahlequah Tigers defense, which you won't see a lot from Braddock's, but maybe a little bit of a chip on his shoulder tonight after losing to the Tigers last year, and it certainly looks that way so far. So Sapulpa will take the snap and hand it off to number 4, Michael Bennett, and it's a short gain. Good job from the Tigers defense. Gain of maybe 2. Levi Jensen will come back into the game.
Number
The
21.
senior tailback.
Number 21 for the Tigers, Chris Perry, in on the stop.
5 minutes here left in the first quarter of the football season. Chieftains lead 7-0. Pistol formation. Bunch trips to the short side of the field. The quarterback's left. And they play action. And Braddock rolls out and really kind of just gets it away for an incomplete pass. He was pressured by number 7. I believe that's Elvis Myers.
Intended target on that play was number 2, Landon Barber. But really good coverage by the Tiger defense.
Yeah, really, really good defense there. So it'll be 3rd and long for the Chieftains. On the Tigers' 28. Not quite in field goal range. But there is a strong north wind, which would be at the kicker's back. Trips formation to the wide side of the field. Braddock's is right. Chieftains going left to right. Braddock's will take the snap, and there's a flag. This is probably going to be a false start. And it is. So it'll make 3rd down even tougher.
The 5-yard penalty moves the ball back to the 2-yard line. 3rd down, 12.
Has to be a 3rd down and long here for the Chieftains. You would think if they get close, this is probably 2-down territory with the way the defense has played tonight. About 13 yards to go to get a 1st down.
Yeah, 3rd and 13. Same formation. Trips formation. Levi Jensen to the quarterback's right. Braddock takes a snap, and he's going to throw, and he steps up in the pocket, and he's looking down the field, nowhere really to go, and he takes a shot.
Number 34, Corbin Dietz in on the stop.
Good coverage from the Tigers defense, and we'll see what the Chieftains do here. They're kind of in no man's land. It's going to be 4th and 10. It's too long for a field goal, and you're probably too close to punt it.
Well, with the way this defense has played, Braden.
You're probably going for it, and I can't say I disagree with head coach Tim Holt here. He's going to go for it on 4th and 10, and we're going to go empty formation. Ball's on the right side of the field. Chieftains going left to right, and Brax will take the snap, and it's a good throw. What a catch from Jackson Stone, but it might be short. I don't know if he got to the sticks. Oh, I think he did. He got right to them.
Man,
and what a play. A perfect route. Jackson Stone knows exactly where the sticks are at, runs to them, sets down, and Braddock delivers a strike. And Jackson makes a great catch laying out to get it, and the Chieftains move the chains on 4th and 10.
Man, that is perfect execution, and that's that timing we were talking about.
That's that stop route. We think we'll see a lot.
Exactly.
Into the red zone the Chieftains are. Levi Jensen in the backfield, and he'll get the handoff. Nowhere really to go. Oh, he breaks a tackle! He bounced it outside, and he scored. But there's a flag. There's a flag on the play, and it's going to be a holding on the Chieftains and take a phenomenal run from Levi Jensen off the board. There was nowhere to go. Levi looked like he was destined for the ground. Somehow gets out of the mess and scores a touchdown, but it's going to be waved off because of a holding call.
Well, overall, the offensive line has held up really well from this pass rush from number 5,
and
Kingston Hall.
I haven't noticed him yet, which means the Sapulpa offensive line is doing a great job.
It's been a really clean pocket, and they've busted some good long runs. You hate to see this one come back, but that's that week one, the week one mistakes we were talking about earlier. You're going to have that. You're going to have some false starts, some holding calls. I mean, that's part of playing week one, but overall, pretty good start for the Chieftains.
So it'll be 1st and long. 3 minutes here left to play in the first quarter. Trips formation to the top of the screen, and it's a play action. It's a great throw by Braddock, but it's dropped. A rare drop from number 1, Jackson Stone. It was a perfectly run post route and a perfectly thrown ball, and Jackson just dropped it. You won't see a lot of that from him, though.
It looks like Braddock might have been shaken up on that play. He was holding his shoulder for a second.
Braddock has taken some hits here early. He's been aggressive running the football. So it'll be 2nd and long. Spread formation for the Chieftains with number 23 Levi Jensen in the backfield. Braddock will take the snap, and it's excellent protection. And Braddock throws a deep ball down the field, but it's over number 23 Levi Jensen's head. Really good for protection there from the Chieftain offensive line. Braddock's had plenty of time, just none of the receivers were able to get open for him. So it'll be 3rd and a mile.
Well, Tahlequah is sitting back in that umbrella defense is what I like to call it, where they're just rushing 3, dropping 8, and it's making it tough for Spalva to find anything open down the field. So
yeah, they sent a blitz up the middle there, but the Chieftain offensive line did a phenomenal job picking it up. So it'll be 3rd and forever. 23 Levi Jensen in the backfield with Braddock, and he takes the snap, and they'll just hand it off. And they might have just centered it up for a field goal attempt. I don't know. That would be a really long field goal attempt. And Braddock is kind of holding his right shoulder. Is it me, Tanner, or does it look like he's kind of...
It doesn't look great. Definitely don't like to see that. But it looks like the Chieftains are going to go for it here with just a little over 2 minutes of play in the first quarter.
So they'll go for it on 4th and 20 because they really don't have an option. They're on the Tigers 29, and they'll go empty formation. And maybe we're going to pooch punt it here. Maybe no, we're going to go. We're going to go. We're going to throw it deep down the field probably, and there's a flag. And it's a false start. So just kind of a stalled out offensive possession for the Chieftains, who are leading the game 7-0, and we're marching the ball down the field and now kind of shooting themselves in the foot. And it'll be 4th and even more forever. So now they'll punt it away.
Well, the Tigers have nobody back to return this punt. We'll see if we can pin him deep here.
So, Tanner, who is this going to punt this away for us?
It's number 13, A.J. Moton.
Number 13, A.J. Moton. That's correct. And the punt's away, and the Chieftains will hustle down there and try to down it, and they do! They down it perfectly. And they're... Wow. Yeah, he downed it at the 1.
Great job getting down the field and covering.
A phenomenal punt and a phenomenal job getting down the field. And now the Tigers are in a tough spot. Backed up to their own 1 or 2 yard line. This stout Chieftain defense will come out and look to punish them. So it'll be the 2 yard line is where they get the ball. Maybe gave them an extra half yard.
And the Chieftains lead this first quarter 7-0 with 1:37 left to go. Once again, we'd like to thank our viewers for joining us on Chieftain TV and our radio listeners for listening in on KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa.
So the Tigers will come out, 2 tight ends tight, 2 receivers to the quarterback's right, and they're going to go sprint out. And it's a good throw, and they'll pick up a couple yards there. I think it's a gain of 3. Maybe 4. We'll give them 4, so it'll be 2nd and 6. It was a sprint out to the right. Quarterback was rolling in his own end zone. Always dangerous, but makes a great throw on an out route. So the Tigers will have 2nd and 6. Minute and a half here left to play in the first quarter, and they'll check the play. Running back will move to the quarterback's left. Number 0, Jake Gertie's had a hard time getting going. He ran all over the Chieftains last year. And he'll get the handoff here, and the Chieftains do a phenomenal job tackling, and he maybe gets a yard. I think he does get 1 yard.
Another great tackle by Jackson Mills, number 20 for Spalpa's defense.
So it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Tigers.
This is an interesting spot for the Tahlequah Tigers, pinned up inside your own 10.
And Tanner, who's in there at quarterback for the Tigers? It'll be 2 receivers to his left, the wide side of the field. We know they play multiple.
It looks like number 3, St. John Sampson.
Yeah, it looks like it is number 3, St. John Sampson. And he makes a good throw for a first down. kind of a hitch route.
Number 10, Kel Dobbins in there on the reception. That's really been the only route they've hit us on tonight is those short 5-yard
Yeah, but they've
hitches.
done a phenomenal job of hitting those ones. So it'll be a first down for the Tigers. We're inside of 40 seconds here left in the first quarter. Tigers will take their time. Number 7, Elvis Myers, is a tight end to the quarterback's right, which is the wide side of the field. And they'll hand it off to number 0, Jake Gertie, and he makes a guy miss, and it's a good hard run. But he only gets 3. Good job by the Chieftain defense swarming, and number 0, Jake Gertie, is running hard. And that'll take us probably to the end of the first quarter, and it will. We'll flip sides here. Flip ends of the field. Again, we have a strong north wind.
Well, once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we'll take a short break and be right back for the second quarter.
Chieftain fans, the varsity football team's motto this year is pride, acronym, and tenacity, relentless effort, integrity, brotherhood, and elegance. At this time, the athletic department would like to recognize Little Chiefs Player of the Week for tenacity. Down in the deep, 6th grade Little Chiefs football player, providing embodies core values of pride and consistent performance on both sides of the ball. His tenacity and relentless effort are evident in the way he battles in the trenches every snap, never backing down for Chiefs. Bowden demonstrates integrity by holding himself accountable and leading by example while fostering a sense of brotherhood by supporting and uplifting his teammates. His commitment to improving every day shows his drive to elevate both his own game and the success of his team. Ladies and gentlemen, Bowden with me, the Little Chiefs Player of the Week. Hey, Chieftain fans, show your school pride with a holy card that on the public schools advertising.
And we're back for the second quarter. Spalpa Chieftains lead 7-0. Just been a dominating performance by this Chieftain defense.
So Tahlequah will take the snap from their own 20. They'll motion across. It's play action. Quarterback will roll to his right, and he's pressured, but he gets away from it, and he throws a strike down the field, but it's over number 7, Elvis Myers' head. And number 7, Elvis Myers, is listed at 6'7".
It's a really good pressure by number 18, Logan Mason.
Yeah, phenomenal job by Logan, disrupting that sprint out. So it'll be third down here for the Tigers. Third and about 7. And they'll have trips formation to the quarterback's left. And number 0, Jake Gertie, the running back in the backfield. Quarterback takes a snap, and he fires a strike. But the Chieftains rally to the football, and he's going to get a good spot, though. And I think it's enough for the first down. He gets a really good spot. Kind of his momentum, I thought, maybe took him behind the sticks, but it'll be a first down. So the Tigers advance the ball to their own 28. And they'll take the snap, and the quarterback will keep it, and he looked like he had some room to run, but Chieftains do a good job rallying quickly.
And number 10, Deshaun Coach, in there on the stop. Good to see him back. His first game, really hasn't practiced at all until this week. He finally got cleared. So
yeah, you'll see him with limited plays probably tonight. Hasn't been able to practice since May. But he's back. Just got cleared this week, and he's out there playing. He's a phenomenally impressive young man. I believe the bench press is 365 pounds, which is just frightening. So the Tigers will have 2nd and 3. And there's a good blitz. They drop a good blitz, but it's a great throw, but it's intercepted. Woo! Number 13, A.J. Motan. Number 13, Dawson Godlin. My mistake. And it's a good return. And he's still going down the sideline. There's a bunch of flags flying. And he takes it home. but I think it's coming back. A couple of flags flew, and I think some good blocks are going to be called as blocking the backs.
Well, nonetheless, that's a great pick from number 13, Dawson Goodland, and another player that Coach Tim Holt and Braxton Waters was really excited about, and you see why right there. Just a great job staying over the top of that deep route, getting over the top of the receiver and picking that ball off.
Yeah, Tanner, I've been really, really impressed with him so far tonight. He's been all over the field. I actually thought the receiver was open there for a second on a deep fade route, but Dawson over the top of it closed a lot of ground quickly and intercepted it. Now, if you're head coach Tim Holt, if these are blocking the backs or holding penalties on a return of an interception, you'll live with that. That's being physical, getting interception, having the will and the drive to take it to the end zone, and that's all right.
This Chieftain defense has been good all night. And we got 10 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Chieftains lead 7-0. Once again, we'd like to thank all of our viewers for watching the stream on Chieftain TV and our radio listeners for tuning in on KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa.
So the Chieftains will start at the Tigers 48, 23 Levi Jensen in the backfield, in the pistol formation with Braddix. Braddix will take the snap, and it's a stretch. Oh, and Levi makes a great cut. He cuts it back to the other side of the field, makes the Kansas State commit miss, but I believe he might have fumbled at the end. The Tigers are saying they have the ball, and they do. He fumbled the football, and the Chieftains will give it right back to the Tigers. And you've kind of had some mistakes here early from the Chieftains, who have had a chance to get out to a good lead, leading 7-0, but could easily be 14 or 21-0. A couple of penalties and now a turnover have slowed things down and kept this ball game close. 10 minutes left here in the first half.
Yeah, Braden, those are the things we talked about. Tahlequah's played a game already. Sapulpa hasn't. So you're going to see some of that, but I'm sure Coach Holt is not thrilled. It's like number 12, Will Talbert into the game for quarterback.
The other quarterback, number 12, Will Talbert, is in the game. And he'll take the snap and hand it off to number 11, Ashton Morgan.
Another great tackle by number 20.
A good tackle.
Jackson Mills. Like I said, he may not be the biggest guy on the field, Braden, but he does not miss very many tackles.
Sorry, that was Jake in the backfield, number 0, Jake Gertie.
Tahlequah is in no hurry to go with any sort of tempo, using up a lot of the play clock.
So Tahlequah will take the snap and hand it off again, and he's got some room to run. It's a great tackle. You know what? Just every time it looks like they're really going to have some room to run, the Chieftains close quickly.
Well, that's number 20 once again, Jackson Mills. I feel like I've said his name about 10 times already. In on the stop.
Nonetheless, a good pickup for the Tigers, and it'll be 3rd and short.
Tahlequah is starting to find something in the run game. They really struggled. They only had 1 rushing yard in the first quarter. But they're starting to find a little bit of something in the run game.
3rd and 2 at midfield. Probably 4-down territory for the Tigers if they can keep it to a short yardage situation here. They felt like they got the Chieftains to jump, but no flag. And they'll check the play. And they'll take the snap and hand it off, and it's going to be a 1st down, and it's a good run. And he fumbled the football, but I think the Tigers got back on it. So it'll be a 1st down for Tahlequah into Chieftain territory.
Here comes 65, Canman George back on the field. And number 12, Carter Mosquito for this Chieftain defense.
Yeah, number 12, Carter Mosquito, not the biggest guy on the field, but very physical.
Very physical, and he's very shifty, especially on the offense side of the ball, but he's not afraid to come up and hit you when he's playing safety either.
So spread formation for the Tigers. Ball in the left hash towards the visitor's sideline.
This is the first time the Tahlequah Tigers have been in Chieftain territory this entire game.
You see Tahlequah letting Sapulpa line up in their defense and then checking the play. They do that there. They check to something that they like better, and they're going to throw it this time. They're going to take a deep shot, and he's got him. He's open. And it's caught. And it's a touchdown. I couldn't tell that. It almost looked like cover 2 for the Chieftains, and the safety had a hard time getting over the top, and it was a good throw.
Well, that was a good throw from number 12, Will Talbert, to number 2, Michael Torkelson, for a 47-yard completion.
So Tahlequah will answer, and we've got a ball game here. Lining up to kick the extra point. And number 2, Michael Torkelson, I believe, who just caught the touchdown, will kick the PAT. And he does, and it's good. So we got a good football game. It's tied 7-7 here in Sapulpa at George F. Collins Stadium. 8.5 minutes here left to play in the first half.
Well, those mistakes on offense, Braden, those are the things right there that can keep this a close game. Sapulpa had an opportunity to score on their second drive, and that was wiped away from a penalty, then got into a 4th and long situation, and then the turnover on the last possession from the Sapulpa offense. Those mistakes right there can keep Tahlequah in the game and give them some momentum. So
yeah, the young defensive coordinator, Braxton Waters, will run right over to the sideline to have some film review with his defense. And the Tigers will kick it left to right.
It's like number 1, Jackson Stone, number 3, A.J. Motan, and
I think that's number 4, Michael
Number 4, Michael Bennett, back to return for the Chieftains.
So some dangerous return man back for the Chieftains. They will kick with the wind. So I suspect if they kick it deep, this one will travel. Again, we are tied here in Sapulpa on opening night for the Chieftains. Tahlequah played last week with a big win over East Central, 56-6. And they'll kick it away here. And number 2, Michael Torkelson, who's kind of all over the field, will kick it away. And it's going to go into the end zone. And they didn't give him a chance to bring it out. And it'll be a touchback.
Well, Sapulpa's kind of sputtered out their last 2 possessions, just putting themselves in harm's way with the turnover and some penalties. I'd like to see them get back on track here. Now they're going into the wind, so we'll see if that affects the passing game at all.
Yeah, a little different going into the wind. Braddock still has the arm strength to throw the ball down the field, so I don't know if it changes a whole lot for the Chieftains, but definitely something to keep in mind. And they'll start on their own 20 in spread formation with 23 Levi Jensen next to Braddock's Broughton in the backfield. And Braddock's will take the snap, and he hands it off, and 23 Levi Jensen's got some room to run. Man, he's really got some room to run. He makes a man miss, and he's to the 40, the 35-30, 25, all the way down to the Tigers' 22. And Levi Jensen, and we will look back, because a couple times I've done this after a big Levi run and seen a flag after I got excited. No flag this time.
Flags.
That one will stand. What a run from 23 Levi Jensen.
That's a good 51-yard run for Levi Jensen, as the Sapulpa Chieftains are into Tiger territory now.
So Chieftains will line up, spread formation again. Braddock will take the snap and hand it right back to Levi, and not a lot of room to run there. I think he gets a couple. And into the game comes number 10, Deshaun Koch, and he will give Levi Jensen a break. Now, when the Chieftains get into the red zone, I think you'll see number 10, Deshaun Koch, in the backfield a lot. A very physical downhill running back.
Well, nobody wants to tackle him at 235 pounds.
Spread formation, and they'll hand it to Deshaun, and it's, wow! And Deshaun will run right through the Tahlequah Tigers defense, and I think that was an inside linebacker he ran over. And unfortunately, we have a Tahlequah Tiger injured on the play.
Well, you see that power from number 10, Deshaun Koch. Coach Tim Holt mentioned it. Not a lot of people like to tackle him, and you see why right there.
Yeah, he stepped into the weight room the other day after being out for a long time with turf toe, and immediately I think he benched 365.
Well, we hate to see an injured player from the Tahlequah Tigers, so we're going to take a short break as they tend to the injured player. And once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us on Chieftain TV and our radio listeners at KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa. And we're back.
So it'll be first and goal for the Chieftains on the 9. 23 Levi Jensen in the backfield. And they'll throw it out. It's a good throw. It's an out route. And all the way down to the 1-yard line for number 17. That's Bryce Curran, the junior receiver, with a good catch and run. I keep saying the 1-yard line. It's the 2. Every time I've said the 1-yard line, it's been the 2. It's the 2-yard line for the Chieftains, all the way down to the Tahlequah Tigers' 2-yard line. 7-7 with 7 minutes here left to play in the first half. Tight formation for the Chieftains. 2 H-backs in the game, and they'll hand it off to Levi Jensen, and it was blown up. That's the K-State commit. Number 5, Kingston Hall, blew it up in a good play from the Tahlequah Tigers' defensive front.
Well, that's the first play I've seen number 5 make in the backfield. That's the first tackle for a loss I've seen from him. Chieftains have done a really good job of keeping him contained tonight and not letting him be a factor in this game.
So it'll be third and goal for the Chieftains. Pistol formation, 18 Logan Mason at tight end. And they'll run, it's a bootleg, and the Tigers are all over it, but somehow Braddock's got rid of the football into the flat, and it's a touchdown.
Number 31, Rylan Watson,
wow,
with the catch, and what a ball from Braddock's. While he's falling down, taking a hit, delivers a strike.
Wow, Braddock's is off to a phenomenal start to the season, and the Chieftains will take a 13-7 lead, and will have a chance to go up at 7 points with the extra point. And number 37, the phenomenal name, Jack Madden, no relation to John Madden, I believe, but he will kick the extra point, and I think it's good. It is.
Wow, well, that's a great response by the Chieftains, marching 80 yards down the field in 5 plays to score a touchdown, and it just shows the trust and confidence they have in Levi Jensen. He makes a mistake, fumbles the ball. Who does Tim Holt go right back to? Right back to Levi Jensen, and he breaks free a 51-yard rush to get all the way into Tiger territory, and they score just a couple plays after that. So great response from the Chieftains. They lead this game 14-7 with 6 minutes and 24 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, you see the talent at the running back position for the Chieftains. We saw, like you mentioned, Levi. We saw Deshaun Coke come in and have a nice run up the middle. We'll see number 4, Michael Bennett, run the ball as well. A lot of different options in the backfield. Of course, number 23, Levi Jensen, is going to be kind of the main workhorse there, but some really good talent there and a good drive from the Chieftains. No penalties on that drive, and if we don't have penalties, the trend seems to be we're going to score a touchdown, and that's exactly what happened there. So the Chieftains will kick it away into the wind. So a little different here. And they'll kick right to left from the far hash. The visitors, and it's a pooch kick, and it's a good one. And it's a fair catch, and he dropped it! He dropped it! And it's recovered! Who got it? The Chieftains got it, and I believe it's number 24, Demarion McKinney.
Well, that's a great job there by the Chieftains special teams. We talked about it early on in the season. Special teams mistake can cost you, and that's a second muffed kickoff we've seen from the Tigers. But this one the Chieftains are able to capitalize on.
So the Chieftain offense will come right back onto the field in Tiger territory, and it's spread formation. Again, Chieftains lead 14-7. A little over 6 minutes here left to play in the first half, and Braddock will take the snap, and it's play action. Oh, and he had a man open in the flat. Just a little too much zip on it, and it's over the head of number 5, Chops Ward.
Well, you still see number 9, Braddock's holding his shoulder a little bit, but we have another injured player on the field for the Tahlequah Tigers, and I believe that's number 5, Kingston Hall. Well, while they tend to the injured player, we'll take a break. The Chieftains lead 14-7 with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the second quarter. We'd like to thank you for joining us on YouTube at Chieftain TV and ESPN 99.9, ESPN Tulsa.
Back to the action here. Chieftains will have the ball on the Tigers 34. Spread formation, and Braddock will throw, and it's to number 1, Jackson Stone. Decent throw, but it's dropped. Good coverage from number 2, Michael Torkelson, who's really all over the field for the Tahlequah Tigers. Saw him score a touchdown. He kicked the extra point. He kicked the ball away, and there he's breaking up a pass. Good player.
Well, this is that part of the field where you can kind of take a shot. You can go for it with the run, try to get close to getting a first down. A lot of options here for the Chieftains.
So spread formation again. Braddock will take the snap, and it's a screen, and it's set up nicely, but it's dropped. It was set up nicely with blockers in front of Levi Jensen, but the ball went through his arms. So I believe that'll make it 4th and 10. And the Chieftains kind of in no man's land will go for it, I believe. Again, they're on the Tigers 33, and probably the best option here is to let Braddock throw it down the field. Keep an eye on number 1, Jackson Stone. He's on the short side of the field, and that's where he'll go, but it's overthrown. And there's a flag on the play. I don't know what it's going to be. Looked like maybe Braddock's kind of predetermined where he wanted to go with the football there. Can't really blame him. Number 1, Jackson Stone, has been his favorite target for the most part. So it'll be a turnover on downs.
And I believe they called an illegal formation, but I did see the receiver check with the ref. So a little miscommunication there, and another missed opportunity by the Chieftains to capitalize off the Tiger turnover.
So Tahlequah will come out, the Tahlequah offense. Number 12, Will Talbert, in at quarterback. And they'll start on their own 33. Will take the snap, play action. He'll throw it quick to the flat. And Chieftains do a phenomenal job. Number 4, Michael Bennett, makes just an excellent open field tackle. Finishes the tackle, and it's a gain of nothing. Really, if he's able to make Michael miss there, there's some room to run, but the sure tackler, Michael Bennett's tough to get away from. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Number 7, Elvis Myers at the tight end position for the Tigers. And they'll take the snap and they'll hand it off. A decent run there. And they'll pick up 6 or 7 yards.
Number 15, Emmanuel Johnson, in on the stop for the Chieftains.
So it'll be 3rd and manageable here. 3rd and 3. And the Tigers at their own 40. On the short side of the field, close to the visitor's sideline. Tigers to their own sideline. They'll check. Will Talbert will look to the sideline. And he does change the play maybe. And here they go. And he takes a snap, and it's a handoff. And pretty good job by the Chieftain defense, and I think he's short. He is short.
It's a good tackle by number 7, Sequoia Hall. And it's decision time for the Tigers now. It's 4th and short.
Yeah, it's
but
tough.
They're on their own side of their field.
They'd probably be punting with the wind. I think they'll punt it away. If they were going the other direction, they'd probably go for it. And I actually think they are going to go for it. I can't say I really blame them either way here. They're on their own 42. It's 4th and short. And I'm hoping 65 Camden George is in the game for the Chieftains because he's kind of been the short yardage stopper. And he is. He'll line up at the nose guard position, head over the center, and he's going to slide to the left. And it's a wildcat formation for the Tigers. And they'll take it and run right up the middle, and I don't think he got it. I don't think he got there. Just a phenomenal job by the Chieftain defense, and it's a turnover on downs.
Great job by the Chieftains. Number 31, Ryland Watson, in on the stop. They try to run a little outside zone there out of the wildcat, and nothing doing there for the Chieftains.
Boy, we've got a physical game here tonight, is what you would expect. A temperature of 65 degrees, a little bit of wind. First game of the year. And both teams are playing very hard and physical.
Well, this is a big drive for the Chieftains. Inside of 4 minutes here to go in the second quarter. They lead the Tahlequah Tigers 14-7.
So Braddock's will lead the Chieftains out. Levi Jensen in the backfield. Number 18, Logan Mason, H-back to his left. Levi's to his right, and Levi will get the handoff with nowhere to go. Wow.
Number 50, Braxton Baker, in on the stop for the Tahlequah Tigers.
That's a tough defensive front the Tahlequah Tigers have. A lot of size up there. At the end position with number 5, Kingston Hall, and number 7, Elvis Myers, not Elvis Presley.
Well, this is a big drive for the Chieftains, Braden. You can take a lot of momentum if you go down and score and go into the locker room up 21-7 versus 14-7.
So it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Chieftains. And Braddock's will take the snap and try to get him to jump, and I think he did. I think he got the Kansas State the Kansas State commit number 5, Kingston Hall, to jump.
And keep an eye for the freshman tight end, number 88, for the Chieftains in the ball game. 6'6" as a freshman. You don't see a lot of freshmen play on Friday nights for 6A Division II football, but we've got one tonight.
Kind of a bunch formation for the Chieftains. 2 receivers at the bottom, though. And it's a play action. It's wide open, and it's missed. It was, I believe, an RPO or a play action quick pass on an out. And Braddock's just missed the receiver in the flat. Number 2, Landon Barber, the intended receiver, was open.
So 3rd and 5 here for the Chieftains. You feel like this is 2-down territory once again.
Levi Jensen in the backfield. 18, Logan Mason, the H-back, on the same side as Levi, to the quarterback's right. And they'll hand it to Levi. I think they do that knowing they're probably going to go for it on 4th down and really know where to go. No gain there, and it'll be 4th and 5.
Inside of 3 minutes here to play at George F. Collins Stadium. Chieftains lead 14-7.
And I believe they're going to punt it away here. Braddock's still kind of holding that right shoulder, makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, and since that happened, he just hasn't seemed to be his normal self, as accurate as he normally is. So hopefully he's all right.
No returner back deep for Tahlequah. Chieftains pinned them deep last time they did this. And they'll kick it away, and hopefully they can find the ball. Not a great punt that time. But it'll be down at the Tigers 18, I believe. So Tahlequah will have a chance for a 2-minute drive. 2 minutes here left in the first half. Chieftains lead 14-7, and they'll have to go the length of the field. Probably a lot to clean up at the half for both teams here, Tanner.
Yeah, absolutely, Braden. You expect some mistakes week 1, but I know that these coaches work hard, and they want to do their best and, strive for perfection, but obviously a lot to talk about at half.
Trips formation, they'll roll to the left. Number 12, Will Tabbert, will throw it to the flat, and it's a great tackle. It's blown up.
Blown up, Mr. Michael Bennett, number 4.
Wow. Michael Bennett has been all over the field. And I think it's a timeout. I don't know who called it yet, but there is a timeout on the field. Probably a Tigers timeout.
Well, we'll step away with a short break, and we'll be right back here on Chieftain TV and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa.
A minute 43 here left to play in the first half, and we're back at George F. Collins Stadium. Tahlequah Tigers have the ball on their own 18, and it'll be second and long for them. Spread formation. Number 12, Will Talbert, is leading the Tigers.
Looks like some issues with the game clock here.
A little bit of issues with the game clock. And I think they might be adding a few seconds back on.
Minute 43 left to go in the first half. Chieftains lead 14-7 over the Tahlequah Tigers.
Tahlequah will take the snap, look to throw, and it's a slip screen, but the Chieftains are all over it, so Will rolls out, nowhere to go. And, ooh, he gets smoked! Whew! In the backfield by number 4, Michael Bennett. Wow!
Another good play there by Michael Bennett. And we'll see. The Chieftains want to be aggressive here. They take... Maybe they don't. Yeah, they do. They go ahead and take another timeout. One timeout remaining for the Chieftains with a minute 32 left to go. And Braden, what a great first half for this Chieftain defense. Obviously, some things to clean up on the offense. The defense, did give up that one pass deep. But overall, picking right back up where they left off last year.
Tanner, I got to tell you, I've been really impressed with number 4, Michael Bennett. It feels like we've been saying his name a lot. We brought him up earlier in the broadcast before the game. Really compared the position he plays kind of to that cheetah position that the Sooners have. And he's really playing that position really well for the Chieftains tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting on that 15 pounds makes a big difference in high school. Last year he weighed 170. This year he's up to 185. And he doesn't even look recognizable. If you watched him last year, he played early on in the year, then ended up getting hurt. But tonight he's looking great. Obviously a huge addition to have him back out on the field for the Chieftains.
So the Tigers will come back out on 3rd down and 9 from their own 18. Number 12, Will Talbert, will lead Tahlequah onto the field. With a minute 30 here left to play, he takes a snap, and it's a speed option, and he picks up some yardage. And it might be enough for a first down. Oh, it's close. He might be a little bit short. I think he is. Maybe a half yard short here, Tanner? Maybe?
Yeah, this is going to be really close here. We'll see if the Chieftains...
No, they'll give him a first down. So first down for Tahlequah. A minute left here in the first half. And they may run the football and go to halftime here. Spread formation. Talbert takes a snap. No, he's going to throw it. He's going to try to throw it deep down the field. Ooh, almost intercepted. The Chieftain defense was all over it. Number 3, A.J. Motan, the lengthy safety, gets over and makes a play on the ball.
Well, that's a good pass rush by number 10, Deshaun Coach, getting into the backfield, getting in the quarterback's face. No doubt had an effect on that ball as he overthrew the receiver. And that stops the clock with 45 seconds left to go in the first half. Chieftains leading 14-7.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see the Tigers throwing the football here. I thought they might run this out and go to halftime with the Chieftains leading 14-7. They'll take the snap. They'll roll to the quarterback's left, and he kind of had a man open on an out route, but he missed him.
Number 6, Messiah Fielder, in on the coverage.
Pretty good coverage from the Chieftain defense. I think number 12, Talbert, felt like he needed to get that one to the sideline to be safe, and probably a good decision, and goes incomplete.
It's a big third down here, 3rd down and 10.
3rd down and 10 here. 40 seconds here left in the first half. Tahlequah will change the play, and I believe they'll hand it off, and they will. It's a decent run of 5 yards, and it'll be 4th down, and we'll see what happens here. And I think Sapulpa will use a timeout to try and stop the clock with 34 seconds left to try and get the ball back. And we'll get to see number 1, Jackson Stone, back deep to return the punt. And if he gets a chance to return it, he is dangerous.
Well, I'd imagine the Chieftains probably try to come after this if Tahlequah punts it away.
Yeah, you've seen some issues from the Tahlequah long snapper kind of floating the ball back there. Wouldn't surprise me, like you said.
Try to create some special teams havoc here before we go into halftime. With the Chieftains leading 14-7, 34 seconds left to go in this first half. Once again, we'd like to thank all of our viewers for watching on Chieftain TV. If you haven't already, go like and subscribe. And all of our radio listeners tuning in on KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa.
So it will be number 1, Jackson Stone, back deep. And I don't think the Chieftains will really come after this one. It looks like it's kind of a punt return safe here. And the Tigers will punt from their own 30. And it's a pretty good punt towards the sideline. It takes a bounce, and Jackson does get a chance to return it, but nowhere to go. Good coverage from the Tigers' punt defense there, punt team there. And Jackson is tackled at his own 25 with 24 seconds left to go here in the first half. Good football game we've had so far. We've had a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties, a couple of turnovers, but nonetheless a very physical game we've seen tonight, as you would expect. First game of the year for the Chieftains. Tahlequah coming off a 56-6 win over East Central last week in week 0.
Looks like number 10, Deshaun Coach, is in to the game at running back.
The Chieftains will hand it off, and a good physical run, but that'll probably take us to halftime, and it will. So the Chieftains will be content, go into the locker room with a 14-7 lead here after falling to the Tahlequah Tigers last year on the first game of the year.
Well, that's a good first half. Obviously, a lot to clean up for the Chieftains on both sides of the ball. Defense has been pretty strong, but I know how Coach Braxton Waters is. He's not going to be happy about that pass they gave up. But we got a ball game here, folks, at George F. Collins Stadium. We'll take a short break and be right back.
Don't worry, because with TTCU, you're always in control of your card. Just lock and unlock it from your phone. Card controls from TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Hey, Chieftain fans, Pastor Johnny and Heather here from the Way Church, and we just want to take a second and we just want to share with you what's going on right here in your community at the Way Church.
There's so many different ways that you can get involved here at the Way Church, but I can promise you this, from the moment you walk onto our campus, you are going to feel so loved and probably already know so many different people. We have something for everybody, from kids to youth to adults, all throughout the week. You want to make plans to be here.
So be sure to join us on Sundays at either 9:30 or 11. We have a seat saved for you. We can't wait to see you. Let's go, Chieftains.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Tahlequah Tigers dance team. The team is coached by Molly Heritage and Grace Bolger. Our seniors are Friendly Klingenfield, Hayden Leonard, Shireen Mortazavi, Friendly Benson, Iris Puckett, Lucy Puckett, Jordan Bully. Once again, please welcome your Tahlequah Tigers.
Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation. Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation.
Gentlemen, here's the Tahlequah Tigers. So Public Schools is proud to recognize our 2025 Teachers of the Year and Sport Employees of the Year. Chosen by their peers with a special honor, these outstanding Chieftains represent the very best of our schools, and we are excited to celebrate them with you this evening. First, we have the Tahlequah District Teacher of the Year.
Well, welcome back to George F. Collins Stadium. Here we are at halftime, just a little under 15 minutes before we get the second half kicked off. We'd like to thank our viewers for joining us on Chieftain TV and our radio listeners listening in on KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 ESPN Tulsa. Well, Braden, not a terrible start for the Chieftains. You got the lead 14-7 over Tahlequah here at half. Obviously a lot to clean up. Some, what I call week one mistakes that you usually see. What did you think about the first half, and how do you think the Chieftains come out and respond?
Well, I thought it was, like you said, kind of exactly what you'd expect. It was exciting to see the Chieftain offense score on their first play from scrimmage. A deep ball from Braddock's down the left hash just looked phenomenal. Kind of sluggish at times, some penalties, some mistakes. We did see an interception returned for a touchdown by the Chieftain defense that was called back, and then the offense kind of sputtering out after that. So I think the physicality, the hustle has all been there for both teams. The effort has not been lacking. I think head coach Tim Holt for the Chieftains and defensive coordinator Braxton Waters probably aren't satisfied with that first half, but nonetheless up a touchdown on the first game of the year.
Right, well, the Chieftain defense was really stout in the run game and only allowing 1 rush yard in the first quarter. Tahlequah started to find a little bit in the second quarter, but overall, Tahlequah rushing has 33 yards and 61 yards through the air, but the majority of those passing yards came on the one deep ball, a 47-yard touchdown pass. So overall, that's pretty good. I mean, you're going to give up a few plays here and there, but a pretty stout performance from the Chieftain defense. But I tell you what, the story of this game and what I've been most impressed with is the Chieftain offensive line not allowing the Kansas State commit, Kingston Hall, to have much of an impact in this game.
Yeah, he's kind of been a non-factor, surprisingly. We even saw Levi Jensen make him miss in the backfield and make a nice gain. So I've been somewhat pleasantly surprised by that for the Chieftain offensive line. But really, like we said, kind of a sloppy first half. I think in this second half, you will see the Chieftain offense try to take some shots down the field early. They did that on the first play of the game. Kind of went away from it because we maybe started to see some quarters coverage from the Tigers, but I think they'll go right back to it and attack them.
Right. Well, and also in that second quarter, the Chieftains had flipped into the wind, so it does make it a little bit more difficult to throw the ball deep down the field like they did in the first quarter. So I would expect in the third quarter, once the field's flipped, them to get back to that passing attack. As far as Sapulpa offensively, they have 78 yards through the air and 104 yards on the ground. Obviously, a huge run there by Levi Jensen on that third possession, picking up 57 yards, which they ended up scoring off of that drive. So a lot of good things going on out here on the field tonight. A tough competitive ball game, which is what we expected. But Chieftains lead nonetheless, 14-7. We're a little bit under 12 minutes away from kicking off this second half. But let's take a look around the state tonight. We've got some great ball games going on all across the state. So let's do a score update real quick.
Yeah, you see Bixby leading Sand Springs 42-0. It says in the first quarter, probably likely the second quarter there, but a good start to the year, not surprisingly for Bixby. Last week, getting a huge win and then continuing that momentum tonight. Claremore leads Bartlesville 22-7. Lawton leads Enid 12-10. Muskogee trails Rogers 35-0 at the half, and then Stillwater ahead of Union 13-8 at the half. Kind of an odd score there.
Wow, what a ball game there. Well, Stillwater definitely could be a contender here to win the state championship in 6A Division II. Obviously, Choctaw won it last year. They're going to be back, I'm sure. Really good ball program down there led by Jake Corbin, our former head coach here at Sapulpa, doing a really good job down there. But I'm interested to see what happens with Muskogee. Obviously, their coach Travis Hill left and went to Broken Arrow. From what I've heard, he's taking some players with him, as there is a high school transfer portal now, quote unquote. So I'm interested to see, because if you look at the Chieftains' schedule, it progressively gets harder with the two last games of the season, being Sand Springs and Muskogee. And I would expect that to be a top 5 matchup.
I would as well. I mean, it's kind of the same way the schedule set up last year in district play, where it does get progressively tougher throughout the year. One thing that's really going to help the Chieftains is they have no cupcakes these first 3 weeks. They're playing an excellent Tahlequah team tonight. They'll play UConn and then Grove. So no gimmies there. Some really good competition to get them ready for district play.
Yeah, absolutely. And, tonight, starting off, the game's just been – it's been one of those things. They have just shot themselves in the foot at times. Had a chance to score down here inside the red zone. Obviously, penalties killed that drive. Then followed that up with a turnover. But if you get those things cleaned up, this is, an offense that can be really, really explosive, and complemented with this defense that they have, it could be a really dangerous team.
Yeah, exactly. And the Chieftains, if you're just now joining us on Chieftain TV or 99.9 or 1550 AM ESPN Radio, the Chieftains lead Tahlequah 14-7 with just over 8 minutes here left at halftime. So, been a good football game so far. There'll be some good football games tomorrow, Tanner, so the trend continues. The Sooners will host the Michigan Wolverines. The Cowboys will travel to Eugene, Oregon to take on a very talented Oregon team that is going to be a tremendous challenge for them. So what can you expect tomorrow? We'll start with OU, probably the better football game of the two. What do you expect to see from the Sooners and the Wolverines tomorrow?
Well, it's going to be a tough matchup, and I really think it comes down to whichever quarterback makes the less amount of mistakes. I mean, the biggest question mark that goes along with that is obviously the OU offensive line. If they can hold up and, give John Mateer time to throw the ball, if they can find some sort of way to run the ball, obviously I think they're going to have to do a lot more quarterback run game than they did last week against Illinois State. But they're going to have to find some way to balance out that Michigan defense, because they're going to be it's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, that should be a tremendous game there, a very physical game, two very solid defensive fronts. Just will be a battle in the trenches, as you would expect from those two types of programs. And then on the other side, you'll see Oklahoma State travel to Eugene, Oregon, with a lot of new players who just saw the field for the first time for the Cowboys last week, and they'll travel up there with a backup quarterback. What seems like an insurmountable mountain for the Cowboys could end up being a game if they're able to establish somewhat of a run game, and they need to get into a game where it's a slow grinder and maybe make a couple plays on special teams to have any chance.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the hometown team, TU, taking on New Mexico State. TU will look to go 2-0 for the first time since, I believe, 2015. New Mexico State battled it out with Michigan last week, lost 34-17. TU picked up a good win against, help me out here,
Abilene Christian.
Abilene Christian, that's what I thought. But, that's a lot of good things going on at that program and all across the state. But we're going to take a short break. We're about 6.5 minutes away from kickoff to the second half. Sapulpa leading the Tahlequah Tigers 14-7. All right, welcome back. Thanks for joining us on Chieftain TV tonight and on the radio, our radio listeners at KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 ESPN Tulsa. Real quick, I want to say if you're watching us on YouTube, please go like and subscribe to Chieftain TV. Last year we had a goal to get to 3,000 subscribers. This year that goal is 4,000 subscribers. It's a great way to keep on with everything going on around the school. Obviously all the sporting events, but not only that, everything going on inside the classroom as well. So Braden, we're about 2.5 minutes away from kicking off this second half. And one of the things we didn't mention on the last conversation were the turnovers. It's been a huge story tonight. Obviously, Tahlequah's turned the ball over twice, and Sapulpa's turned the ball over once. But we'll see if that gets cleaned up in the second half. It could be a huge determining factor in how this game goes.
Yeah, it's just something you kind of expect, particularly early in the year in high school football. Just kind of what you're going to get, young men out there playing an emotional, physical, fast game. Those things are going to happen. Again, one turnover for the Chieftains, that's not as big of a problem probably as the penalties. The penalties have really been tough. We've had 2 touchdowns called back. One of them was an interception return for a touchdown. The other one was a phenomenal run by number 23, Levi Jensen. So penalties have really been what's killed some of the Chieftains' drives.
Absolutely. And the Chieftains are coming back out on the field now. We're about 1.5 minutes away from kickoff. And if you're just now joining us on radio, the Chieftains lead the Tahlequah Tigers 14-7. And it's been a hard-fought ball game. We've seen plays made on both sides of the ball. But I am sure that was a very fiery discussion from Coach Tim Holt in the second half, because it could be a much different story for the Chieftains. But nonetheless, they did what they had to do to get the lead going into halftime. And, you know, it's week 1 for them. So
it's absolutely week 1. We've seen a few uncharacteristic missed throws, 2 drops by Jackson Stone, a lot of things that we don't normally see, we wouldn't expect to see, has kind of kept this game close along with the penalties that we've talked about. So we've got an excellent second half of football coming up. We're inside of 1 minute left here before we resume play. So really exciting times here at George F. Collins Stadium. And both teams are back out on the field warming up.
We're less than 1 minute away here from kickoff. And just a great weather night here in the state of Oklahoma, minus the wind, but low 60s. I'm starting to see a lot of hoodies and sweaters and jackets put on out in the crowd tonight. A little warm up here in the booth, but that's all right.
Yeah, a lot of jackets out there and very little up here.
Well, Braden, how do the Chieftains get back on track? They'll get the ball to start the second half. Tahlequah will be kicking off to them. They'll have the wind at their back. I would imagine we'll see a couple more deep shots, try to get Jackson Stone going. A little surprised. Expected him to have a bigger night tonight, but there's still a lot of time left to go. I'm sure Tahlequah has done a great job of covering him, but I would expect to see a big shot coming to him pretty soon.
Yeah, a little surprised, like you said, but also him, probably along with a lot of the Tahlequah players and other Sapulpa players and a lot of the students going back to school, battled one of those stomach bugs this week, so maybe that's influencing as well. A lot of the back-to-school stuff going around that you normally expect this time of year, especially with some potentially cooler weather that has moved in and not the 100 degrees that we're used to.
Right, and you are correct. I did forget he was sick yesterday, so it's great to just see him on the field.
Exactly.
Battling it out. And before we get started here, we want to just say this third quarter is brought to you by the Way Church. And we thank all of our sponsors tonight for making this possible and for all the community coming out and pouring into the school and supporting these kids. You know, football season is a year-round thing for a lot of people. It starts in the winter workouts after the season's over, and then, into spring ball, into summer workouts, 7-on-7s. Then you get to fall camp, and then finally you get to week 1.
Right. And that's where we're at now. A long season ahead. A lot of challenges ahead for both teams. Sapulpa will host UConn next week. Another really tough game for the Chieftains. And then Grove the following week on the road. So it certainly is just getting started, and we expect some more physical, competitive football games in the future, just like we have tonight.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about their schedule. There's no gimme games in the schedule, and you see that sometimes when you're scheduling non-conference games. That sometimes there'll be an easy game, and you don't really get a whole lot from that. So this team, this coaching staff, the administration, they're not afraid of tough competition and scheduling these tough games. I believe Coach Holt said they've played Tahlequah 19 times, which is a lot. A lot to play a team, a lot of consecutive years. It wasn't consecutive years, but I think in the last 30 years they've met 19 times. So starting to get a little bit of a non-conference rivalry between the Tahlequah Tigers and Spalpa Chieftains.
Yeah, same thing with UConn. We've played UConn a lot. Like we said, we played Tahlequah last year, first game of the year. Tahlequah won that game at Tahlequah. So hoping for a different result here tonight, but no guarantees for sure, as we've got a 14-7 ball game with the Chieftains leading, and we're about to kick off the second half here.
And once again, we'd like to thank all of our viewers for watching on Chieftain TV, on YouTube, and our radio listeners for joining us on KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa. Well, Braden, it's week 1 for us too. Haven't done this much talking, I don't think, all year long.
It is, yeah. We're getting the kinks out, getting ready for the year that's ahead.
Well, 24 minutes left in this game to decide who will walk out of here. Either the Tahlequah Tigers walking out of here 1-1 or 2-0, and Sapulpa going up 1-0 or 0-1. And I have a feeling this second half is going to be a hard-fought battle.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for sure. And the Chieftains will get the football, which is nice for them. And we're going to flip directions here. Each team lined up on the wrong side of the field.
Well, that's important because that means the Chieftains will get the wind going into the fourth quarter at their backs.
So number 2, Michael Torkelson, been all over the field tonight. Had a really good night. Will kick the ball away. Has played offense, defense, and has been the team's kickoff and field goal kicker. And back deep for the Chieftains is number 4, Michael Bennett, number 1, Jackson Stone, and then number 3, A.J. Motan. And the kick is away, left to right, and it's returnable, but it goes into the end zone, and then they'll get a touchback.
That ball took a wild hop there at the end.
It really did.
Just bounced over Jackson Stone's head. So the Chieftains will get the ball to start the second half on the 20-yard line.
So a little different. We saw last night with, if you watch the Cowboys and the Eagles, these touchbacks, they start at the 35 instead of the 30. And in high school football, it's still the 20, which is makes it a little tougher on the offense, but makes for some more defensive battles like we have tonight. So here we go. Here comes the Chieftain offense led by Braddock Broughton, the junior quarterback, number 9, and he's joined by number 23, Levi Jensen, in the backfield. And Levi will get the handoff, and he's got some room running. It's a hole, and he might, he's to the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, all the way. He might score. I think he might be down at the 1-yard line, and he is.
Wow, what a run by Levi Jensen to start off this second half. Takes it 79.5 yards.
Wow.
All the way down the field, and they're on the half-yard line here. Chieftains knocking on the door to start this second half, 15 seconds in.
The first play of the first half was a, 56-yard touchdown, and then we've got a 79-yard run from Levi Jensen down to the 1-yard line to start the second half. So an excellent start to the half for the Chieftain offense. It was blocked very well. Levi hit the hole, and he was out the gate. So here we go. Chieftains down near the goal line. Braddock will take the snap and hand it off to Levi, and he's stuck in the backfield. Falls forward somehow.
Well, that was a big-time collision there by, I didn't get the number, but Tahlequah linebacker did a really good job of collisioning Levi Jensen and keeping him out of the end zone.
I think number 54 for the Chieftains there, David Acosta, just pancaked. He drove him into the end zone.
It looked like a sign out of the
pancaked number 5 Kingston Hall, the Kansas State commit.
It looked like a scene out of the blind side.
It really did. He had him almost in the back of the end zone on his back. Wow. Chieftains will try again here. Braddock's will take the snap, hands it off. Again, Levi bounces. No, that's Deshaun Koch, sorry.
Well, he did a good job bouncing outside. Just another good tackle there by Tahlequah. Chieftains have to punch it in the end zone here. 2 more downs to do it. Tahlequah not giving up, playing a tough physical ball game like we knew they would bring to George F. Collins Stadium.
Here we go, 3rd down for the Chieftains. On the Tigers' 3-yard line. Leading 14-7. Braddock's will take the snap and hand it off again, and it's blown up. Blown up by the Tigers' defensive front.
There's nowhere to go there for the Chieftains.
So it'll be 4th and 5. 4th and goal from the 5. And we'll see what the Chieftains do here. And they might kick a field goal.
Looks like we got a timeout there by the Chieftains. They're going to talk it over. Chieftains lead Tahlequah Tigers 14-7, and we'll be right back after the short break.
And we're back. The Chieftains inside the 5 have 4th and goal. And they'll bring the offense onto the field. The ball's on the right hash. Braddock's will be joined in the backfield by number 23, Levi Jensen. It's a bunch formation, 2 H-backs and 2 tight ends. And they go play action, nowhere to go with it. And Braddock throws it up to the back of the end zone. I think he got it.
That's the freshman.
That is the freshman tight end, number 88. Help me with the name here. Brody Chilaques.
There's no chance we got that right. But the 6'6 freshman making a play out there on his first varsity game.
What a catch.
Week 1.
From 88.
Brody. We'll get that name corrected next week, but nonetheless, it doesn't take anything away from the amazing play there. Braddock's had a scramble. They tried the tight end pop pass. It was covered originally, but throw it up to the 6'6 young freshman and let him make a play.
What a catch there. Braddock's did a great job extending the play. And the Chieftains will kick the extra point. And it's good. Almost blocked, but it's good.
And the Chieftains take the lead 21-7. Great opening drive coming out of the first half. Got a little scary there for a second when we weren't sure if they were going to be able to punch it in. But nonetheless, they step up and make a play when it's needed the most. And I can't help but think what Coach Tim Holt said about Brody yesterday. He didn't tell us his last name pronunciation, but he did talk about him. And you see the potential that he has. He's just a freshman. I'd be curious to see how many freshmen are starting at the 6A1, 6A2 level. I doubt there's very many.
Yeah, not very many making catches like that. We saw him make a phenomenal catch in their first scrimmage of the year where he went over the top of a safety on a 25-yard crossing route. And as Randy Moss would say, mossed him. And that's kind of what we saw there.
Well, that was Braddock's 3rd touchdown pass of the evening. Great start for the junior quarterback. We used to call him the young sophomore quarterback, but he is now the veteran.
So Chieftains will kick right to left, kicking into the wind, leading 21-7 with 9 minutes here left to play in the 3rd quarter. After a phenomenal catch from the freshman tight end. And it's a pooch kick, and that one's going to be tough. And it's bobbled! The Chieftains got it!
Guess who? Number 24 to Marion Kinney.
His second kickoff fumble recovery of the night.
Man,
wow.
I don't know if that was intended to go 11 yards. But
that was a phenomenal pooch kick.
Phenomenal. and we'll take it. And the Chieftains have the ball once again in Tiger territory. That is their 4th turnover on the evening, and the Chieftains hopefully can capitalize off of it and go up 28-7.
So spread formation for the Chieftains on the Tahlequah Tigers 44. Braddock's Broughton in the backfield as the quarterback. He goes play action, bounces it outside. Oh, he's going to make a deep throw down the sideline and just outside the arms of the intended receiver, and there's a flag in the backfield. And it's going to be a hold. That's always tough sometimes when the quarterback takes the ball out of the pocket when he's forced to, and sometimes you get kind of caught in no man's land as an offensive lineman, and that's exactly what happened there. So it'll be holding, and I believe it's on number 77, Thomas Lopez, the right tackle, who's really been good tonight.
2 tight ends checking into the game, Logan Thomas and number 88, Brody, the freshman, checking in.
Brody Chalacas will check in, along with number 18, Logan Mason. So the Chieftains will back up, and it'll be first and long. They'll hand it up the middle and nowhere to go for Levi, and he loses a yard. So now it'll be 2nd and long. It'll be 2nd and 21. Into the game comes number 4, Michael Bennett for the Chieftains, and he'll give number 23, Levi Jensen, the back a break. Back into the game comes number 1, Jackson Stone, along with number 17, Bryce Curran.
A little over 8 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Chieftains leading this game 21-7.
Trips formation to Braddock's left, the wide side of the field. Chieftains on their own 45 will take the snap and look to throw. Braddock's is pressured and is forced to take the ball up the middle and gets nowhere. A little bit past the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and forever. I don't know that he necessarily needed to leave the pocket there, maybe just step up.
Well, the Tahlequah defensive line must have got a stern talking to at halftime, because it definitely came out fired up to play the second half. But
so it'll be trips formation again to Braddock's left, the wide side of the field, and Braddock's will take the snap, and he's going to look to throw. They're going to call that a hold, but I don't know.
No, that's holding right there.
And I think we're going to have offsetting penalties, because they're going to call a hold in the backfield and then a pass interference or holding on the Tigers' secondary. So we'll probably have offsetting penalties here.
And that was a good route.
And that's exactly what we've got.
By number 13, Dawson Goodland has made several plays tonight, and he definitely had the corner beat there, had to grab his jersey. And unfortunately, we have also had a holding. So overall, though, the offensive line has done a good job of holding up. This is a really tough test, week 1, against the Kansas State commit, but they've done a good job overall.
So we'll replay 3rd down, trips formation again. Braddock's gets the snap, and he throws it deep down the field. Oh, gosh. Oh. And it was almost intercepted. Maybe it was intercepted. Oh, he lost the ball. Wow. It was Okay, let me clarify here. It was intercepted down the field by number 2, Michael Torkelson, who's been all over the field. And then he, on his return, fumbled the ball. And I believe it was immediately recovered by the Chieftains. So the Chieftains, after all of that, will be down to the Tahlequah Tigers' 16-yard line with the football.
Well, there's an old saying, Braden, and it goes, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and the Chieftains will take that.
We will take that, exactly. Wow, so the Chieftains, after all that, inside the red zone in spread formation. Braddock's Broughton is joined by number 23, Levi Jensen, in the backfield, and they'll play action, and they'll throw it out to number 17, Bryce Curran, and nowhere to go. He does get a few, so it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Chieftains.
Logan Mason checking into the game for Bryce at tight end.
Moving the football here a little unconventionally, but moving the football. Leading 21-7 inside of 7 minutes here left to play in the 3rd quarter. Logan Mason, as you mentioned, the H-back. Braddock takes the snap, hands it off to Levi, nowhere really to go. Good job by that Tigers defensive front, who for the most part has been really good tonight. We've seen some really long runs, but it feels like it's either been all or nothing for the Chieftains run game.
Yeah, they've got the 79-yard run and then the 57-yard rush in the first half. But other than that, it's been tough to find yards out there on the field for the Chieftain running game.
So we've got third down here, and it's a really big third down for the Tahlequah Tigers defense if they want to stay in this game. It's spread formation. Braddock will take the snap, play action. He gets away as he throws it into the end zone, and he's got a man, but I think he was out of the back of the end zone. I think he had a couple guys open.
And we've got some more laundry on the field, so we'll see. And he's pointing towards the offense, so. So we'll wait for the official to give us the call. A legal man downfield.
Penalty is declined. So it'll be fourth down, and I believe we'll probably see the Chieftain offense stay on the field.
A little under
No, we'll get to see the kicker here, number 37, Jack Madden, with a chance to live up to the Madden name and kick a field goal here for the Chieftains. Again, leading 21-7 inside of 6 minutes here left to play in the third quarter.
This will be a 22-yard attempt for Jack Madden.
He's on the left hash, kicking into the wind. And the kick is away, and I can't tell from here, but I think he nailed it. He did. He did nailed it, and then he hit the little John Cena celebration. I don't know if you saw that. I could see that from here. Waving his hands in front of his face. I like the charisma from the kicker there.
I like a confident kicker. You know, they're left on an island. They're not used very much during the game, but when their name is called, it's always an important moment. And Jack Madden delivered, going up, putting the Chieftains up 24-7 over the Tahlequah Tigers with a little under 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Yes, the junior living up to the Madden name. Splits the uprights. So Chieftains will kick it away with a 3-score lead. And you can kind of feel the momentum building here.
We'll see if Jack Madden can create another turnover tonight on this kickoff. He's already created 2 with the pooch kicks. And we'll see if Mr. McKinney, number 24, can recover another one here.
Number 24, Demarion McKinney, has been phenomenal on the kickoff team tonight. Like you said, recovering 2 fumbles on kickoff, and it's another good pooch kick. Oh gosh, and this time they catch it. This time they caught it, and they'll get good field position. But if you're the Chieftains right now, you don't worry about that so much. Leading 24-7 with a defense that outside of one play down the sideline has been flawless.
Yeah, and we haven't even got to see the Chieftain defense this third quarter. But in the first half, they only gave up 61 pass yards, and like you said, most of that was on one pass play, a 47-yard pass, but only 33 rushing yards. They've really shut down this rushing attack from Tahlequah, and that was a key to the game for the Chieftains to have some success. And obviously, being down by 3 scores, I would expect to see a lot more pass.
So a flag on the snap here, and it's a false start, and it'll back the Tigers up. So into the game, number 3, Sinjin Sampson at quarterback. Number 3, Sinjin Sampson, and number 12, Will Talbert, have kind of traded off at the quarterback position tonight. Splitting time. Number 0, Jake Gertie for the Tigers, a phenomenal running back, has had a hard time getting going against this Chieftain front 7. So the Tigers will come out in the pistol formation on 1st and 15. Quarterback will keep it, and he's going to lose yards. And the Chieftain defense, Tanner, they were all over that one.
All over it. Mr. Rylan Watson, number 31, in on the sack. And it's going to back him up even more. It's going to be second and a mile for the Tahlequah Tigers. Rylan Watson, the young sophomore, started a few games there for the Chieftains at the end of last year as a freshman, getting obviously much more playing time this year as a sophomore. he's made some incredible plays tonight, and I've also, on offense, seen him lay some pretty good blocks against number 5, Kingston Hall.
Yeah, didn't really recognize him. When we saw him in the scrimmages, we were like, who is that? He's grown a lot. He's listed at 6 foot, 220, and I believe it. So the Tigers will have, like you mentioned, second and forever with trips formation, and they'll throw it out quickly, and it's a screen pass, and they'll get some yardage out of that. A good play from the Tigers to make up the ground and make it third and manageable.
Run out of bounds by number 4, Michael Bennett.
One of the longest pass plays of the night for the Tigers comes on a screen, and it'll be 3rd and 9.
Now, Tahlequah likes to run a sprint out one way, then throw a screen on the backside to their tight end, and I would look for that. They love it around midfield, and I would expect that to come sometime soon.
So kind of a spread formation here with a tight end on the short side along with the receiver number 2, Michael Torkelson. And here we go. It's 3rd and long, and they'll throw a hitch route, but it's incomplete. I think he was not at the stick, so I think the goal there was to get some yardage and go for it on 4th. But now it's going to be 4th and 9, and that makes it a lot more difficult to go for it on their own 45.
Well, that was good coverage by number 6, Messiah Fielder. Has had a solid game last night. I would say the Chieftains are a lot better at corner this year with Jackson Stone, Messiah Fielder, and number 15, Emmanuel Johnson.
Yeah, Tanner, I've been really impressed with this Chieftain defense top to bottom. I mean, inside and out. The secondary's been really good. They've got some size, some speed, some length. They've got some different guys that can rotate in that give them different things back there, similar to how they do at the receiver position. And the Tigers will punt it away, and it'll take a bounce, not returnable. Jackson probably should get away from it, and he does, wisely. And it takes a good roll. It rolls quite a bit, and it'll be down at the 16-yard line. So we're inside of 5 minutes to play here left in the third. And if you're joining us on 99.9 FM ESPN radio or 1550 AM radio, the Chieftains lead 24-7.
Absolutely, and Braden, it's just been a great start for the Chieftains coming out of halftime. You know, they had some opportunities in the first half that they missed, and when you do that, you let a team hang around, you leave yourself susceptible to, losing the ball game. But they came out in the third quarter and had an excellent start.
Keep an eye here on number 8, Dalen Williams. Hadn't played a lot tonight. The receiver, the young receiver, number 8, the sophomore, gets some playing time, but it's going to be a run play to number 23, Levi Jensen. Not a lot of running room, but a couple of yards, so it'll be 2nd and 8. So again, we'll see more substitution from the Chieftains receivers group. A lot of different guys coming in and out. A lot of depth there, which should set up really well for going deep into the season. Trips formation for the Chieftains on 2nd and 7. Braddock's Broughton will take the snap, and there's a dead ball. There's a flag on the play, or pre-snap.
Another false start for the Chieftains.
And it'll be a false start, yep.
And that wind is absolutely getting after it right now. If you look at that flag up there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one could go either way, and they're going to call a false start. That one's interesting. So they're going to call it on 52. Kale Bearpaw. So it'll be 2nd and 17 after 2 flags on the play for the Chieftains and another one. A good throw from Braddock's to Jackson Stone is going to be enough for the first down, 18-19 yards, but there's another flag on the play. And kind of a trend here we've seen on these Chieftain drives that have stalled out. Another one on the Chieftains.
Yeah, that's 3 in a row on the Chieftains, bending them really deep in their own territory. And it looks like we have an injured player down on the field for the Chieftains. Well, Braden, pretty good start to the third quarter. Chieftains leading 24-7 over the Tahlequah Tigers. Have outscored the Tahlequah Tigers 10-0 in this third quarter. So, hopefully they can keep this going. Obviously, they got themselves in a bit of a predicament right now. But we'll see, if they decide to be conservative or if they stay aggressive here. But they are pinned inside their own 5 with second and about 23 left to go. So
the injured player is number 1, Jackson Stone, and he's up and jogging off the field, but with a limp. It's not what you want to see from the Chieftains star receiver, but it doesn't seem to be too serious. I think he twisted that ankle earlier in the game. Has been bothering him. He's down on the sideline. Nope, it's a cramp. Don't want to celebrate that, but you'd much rather it be a cramp than something with the ankle. So they'll stretch it out and hopefully get some electrolytes in him. Again, he's been sick this week, so that makes sense. So it'll be second and forever for the Chieftains. Trips formation. Brax will throw out of his own end zone, and he's hammered as he throws it, and it's intercepted. Kind of didn't have a choice there. He had to get rid of the football.
Yeah, number 5, Kingston Hall, was coming hot off the edge there on a rush and got to the quarterback just as he released it. And another turnover. That's 7 on the night between the two teams, so obviously not ideal for either team. 4 from Tahlequah and 3 from the Chieftains.
So the sloppy play continues, and the Tigers will get excellent field position at the Chieftains' 30. And if they want to have any shot here, trailing 24-7 with 3.5 minutes left to play here in the third, they're going to need to punch this in. So pistol formation for the Tigers, and they'll hand it off, and the running back makes a good move. That's number 0, Jake Gertie, and he gets 5 yards. Really good job making a man miss in the backfield and turning it into something. Player shaking up for the Chieftains is number 20, Jackson Mills, and he will limp off the field.
Well, he's been great tonight, Braden. He's made tackles all over the field. Really reliable, dependable player. He's not the biggest guy on the field, as I've said, but he's a wrestler. And it reminds me a lot of the old linebacker from OSU. A little bit undersized, a little Rodrigo, but he never missed any tackles.
Rodriguez. Malcolm Rodriguez, the Oklahoma product out of Wagner, was a phenomenal athlete at Wagner. Came to OSU as a safety, was moved inside to inside linebacker, and now has made a career with the Detroit Lions.
Well, number 26, Braylon Burdick will check in, a sophomore will check in at linebacker for Jackson.
So pistol formation again, and there's some confusion on the snap, and they'll hand it off with nowhere to go, but he makes a man miss, but he's rocked. Number 4, Michael Bennett, missed him in the backfield, which doesn't happen very often. But they won't get much. The Tigers will get a couple of yards, and it'll be 3rd and 5.
Well, this is a big possession for the Tahlequah Tigers. Down 3 scores on the road with a little less than 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. This is a big possession. You feel like it's definitely 2-down territory for the Tigers.
Oh, for sure. Pistol formation again. Quarterback on this drive for the Tigers is number 12, Will Talbert, and they'll change the play on the Chieftain 25. They'll take the snap and hand it off, and they're kind of getting some holes there. I don't know if he got enough for the first down, but it's close. Very close. Might be just a little bit short. And I think we'll have a 4th down. Yes, we will. It's going to be 4th and short. Maybe a half yard for the Tigers. And, of course, they're going to go for it.
Well, this
is Chieftain 21.
This is Camden George down right here.
This is Camden George. He's been quiet somewhat tonight. But this is kind of where he makes his money, theoretically speaking. So a wildcat formation for the Tigers. They'll shift. Some big bodies in there, and they'll run it right up the middle, and I think he got it. He did. He makes a man miss and turns it into a decent gain. He'll get 3 yards. and it's enough to move the chains and keep the Tigers alive. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Inside of a minute here left to play in the third quarter. Chieftains leading 24-7 here at George F. Collins Stadium on opening night.
Well, a little inside, less than a minute here. Chieftain defense looking to get a stop here inside the red zone. They've been good in the red zone all night long.
Pistol formation, and it's handed off. Tigers are sticking with the run game here. Haven't had much success throwing the football, and they pick up a few yards there.
Number 11, Jace McIntosh, middle linebacker, in on the stop. Another guy for the Chieftain defense that's had a great night.
Yeah, Jace, the senior, 6 foot 190.
It looks like Tahlequah is going to be content with taking this to the fourth quarter. Well, the Chieftains lead the Tahlequah Tigers 24-7 as we head into the fourth quarter. We'd like to thank our radio listeners listening in on 99.9 ESPN Tulsa and our live stream viewers tuning in on Chieftain TV. We'll take a short break and be right back for the fourth quarter action between the Tahlequah Tigers and the Chieftains.
So welcome back to George F. Collins Stadium. Chieftains lead 24-7, but the Tigers are driving here. And we've got 1 quarter left to play. Number 12, Will Talbert, will lead Tahlequah back out, knowing that they need to punch this one in to keep themselves alive. And they'll play action, but he's sacked.
That's a big-time sack by number 7, Sequoia Hall, pinning the Tahlequah Tigers in a 3rd and long situation here as they are inside or just outside the red zone at about the 20.5-yard line.
I'll tell you what, number 7, Sequoia Hall, and number 11, Jace McIntosh at the linebacker position are about as solid as you could ask for.
Yeah, they are really, really talented linebackers. It's good to see Jackson Mills back out on the field after getting banged up there in the third quarter.
So it'll be 3rd and 12 for the Tigers from the Chieftain 20. And Will Talbot is the quarterback in the game, and he'll take the snap and stumble and get smoked in the backfield. Number 65, Camden George. Who else, Tanner?
What a big-time hit by number 65, Camden George. Will stepped up into the pocket. Looks like I don't know if he had a man downfield or was trying to scramble, but it didn't matter. Camden George had other plans.
Camden cleaned it up quickly, and it'll be 4th and forever with the Tigers trailing 24-7 to the Chieftains with 10.5 minutes here left to play in the ball game. So the Tigers back at the Chieftains 25, and they're surprisingly going to use a timeout here down 24-7. And you wonder if they have a field goal kicker, they might try to, but sorry, they're kicking into the wind, so that's probably not an option.
Well, the Chieftain defense has held the Tahlequah Tigers to 36 rush yards on the night with that sack. On the last play, they're knocking them back to 36 rush yards and only 69 yards through the air, but the majority of that was on one pass play. So the Chieftains, as far as the defense goes, have stuck to the script, stopped the run, got them in these 3rd and long, 4th and long situations, created a bunch of turnovers, they're right on script with what they want or where they want to be. So 24-7 lead here for the Chieftains. Obviously a huge fourth down for Tahlequah. Be a great start here for the Chieftain defense to get a stop and get the ball back to the offense, as we're a little under 11 minutes left to go in this ball game.
Yeah, this would probably be a dagger here for if the Tahlequah Tigers, if they're not able to convert this 4th and long with time kind of running out. They haven't had any success really in the air, and like you said, haven't really had any success on the ground either. So really a struggle offensively, and they'll come out in the pistol in a spread formation, and they will try to throw it, and they will throw it downfield, and it's in the back of the end zone, and nothing.
Good coverage there by number 4, Michael Bennett.
Yeah, Michael has just been fantastic, and he had excellent coverage there, and it's going to be a turnover on downs, and the Chieftain offense will take over.
Well, Tahlequah is wanting a flag there, and I'm honestly surprised they didn't get one with as many flags as we've seen thrown tonight. But great coverage by Michael Bennett. And the Chieftain offense will take over with 10 minutes and 24 seconds left to go in the 4th as the Chieftains lead 24-7.
Yeah, only the Zebras have been able to stop the Chieftains tonight with penalties on offense. The Tigers' defense haven't had a ton of success other than when the Chieftains get way behind the chains. We saw them earlier have 3 consecutive penalties and put themselves back on their own goal line. So Braddock's will lead the Chieftains out. That's the junior quarterback, Braddock's Broughton, with Levi Jensen in the backfield and 3 receivers to his right and 1 up top. And there's a flag.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be a timeout on Tahlequah.
A timeout. I thought we were going to get another false start there, but that's not the case. And the Tigers are down to 1 timeout left here in this ballgame.
Well, interesting decision there by Tahlequah. Obviously, they didn't like what they saw, but they're down 3 scores and have burned their last 2 timeouts on a 4th down play, and then the first play from the line of scrimmage here as they start this possession on defense. So we'll see what the Chieftains do. They have 183 yards on the ground. We'll see if they decide to keep it on the ground, if they want to stay aggressive. They got the wind at their back now, so I would expect them to stay aggressive, and try to get one more score to seal this game.
So Braddock's will take the snap, and it's a slip screen, and wow. The Tahlequah defense was all over that one. And Levi never had a chance, and he dropped it, but that was the right decision because it was going to be negative yardage.
Yeah, that was a really good stop by number 34, Corbin Dietz, sniffing out that halfback screen and not allowing Levi Jensen to catch the ball. You got to give it to the Tahlequah defensive line. They've made some big-time plays in this second half. Other than giving up the long touchdown run to start the game, they've really flipped the script here and are making the Chieftains earn every yard.
So the Chieftains will have 2nd and 10. Braddock's will take the snap. He hands it off to number 10, Deshaun Koch, who makes a man miss, and he's kind of tackled by his own guy. But a good run, nonetheless, for maybe just 3 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, I'm excited to see number 10 run the ball.
I am too.
This season. He doesn't get very many carries.
If he gets a hole and gets going downhill, he's tough to stop. He'll stay in the ball game, along with number 18, Logan Mason, the H-back, and the freshman tight end. Braddock's will throw a quick out.
It's a good catch there.
It's a good catch. It's a great catch by number 2, Landon Barber. But
we'll see if he got...
I think he's going to be short of the first down by a yard, and the Chieftains will punt it away. And I don't blame them, the way this defense has played, and leading 24-7.
Yeah, no need to get too aggressive here. We're inside of 10 minutes in this 4th quarter. Chieftains leading 24-7. Number 2, Michael Torkelson back to return this punt.
And it's a punt, and it's away, and it's not a great punt. It's towards the sideline. And the punter is shaken up.
Well, Tahlequah did come after it. And I didn't see, I was watching the punt, I didn't see if they ran into him or not. But if they did, he definitely did not get the call.
So the Tigers will start on their own 39, trailing 24-7 to the Chieftains, here with 9 minutes to play. And we'll see who they bring out at quarterback. Again, they've rotated around. And help me out here, Tanner. Who is it that they have?
I believe that's number
12, Will
12.
Tower.
Well, they're in the two-back formation. They love to run out of this formation, but not a lot of time left to be running the ball.
Man coverage on the outside from the Chieftains. And they'll load the box, and they'll stuff it.
Man, that's a great tackle by number 11, Jace McIntosh.
At this point, they're daring the Tigers to try to throw the football. And the Tigers are trailing 24-7. So it'll be 2nd and 8. And we'll get man coverage again. 2 receivers up top, and they'll go play action, and he'll take a shot down the field, and he's got a man with a step, but it's overthrown, and I think they're going to call holding.
That is not a hold. That is not a hold.
And that's a missed call from the referees. They're going to call holding on the Chieftains.
Chieftain defense is in shock, and I don't blame them. The coaching staff is in shock. Really good coverage. He was in phase. The receiver may have had a step on him. But it doesn't matter because they're going to get...
It was going to need to be a perfectly thrown ball unless there was a pass interference, and it's exactly what the Zebras gave them. So that'll be 15 yards and a first down into Chieftain territory at the 49. Under 8.5 minutes here left to play in the game. Tigers trailing 24-7 to the Spalding Chieftains at George F. Collins. Trips up top for Will. And he'll take the snap, and he'll throw a quick screen out there. That's kind of, and it's just blown up, but he wisely dropped it because he was going to lose a couple yards. I always say wisely like they did on purpose. They knew it was good, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, they definitely heard some footsteps coming.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Again, trips up top to the quarterback's right. And we might get sprint out here, Tanner. That's exactly what we get. Could have saw that one coming. Good job by number 7, Sequoia Hall. But a pretty good throw there.
I think that hit the ground, but they're going to give it to him.
On a stop route.
Coach Tim Holt wanted that to be called incomplete, too.
It looked like you could see from here it was a one-hop. But nonetheless, it's a not a first down. It'd be 3rd and 2 for the Tigers at the Chieftain 41 in a spread formation. Haven't seen a lot of 2x2 here, but we'll see it here. Kind of seeing a cover 1 look here from the Chieftains, it looks like, or maybe a cover 3, and they'll take the quick yardage and get a first down on a stop route.
Well, that was a good catch by number 2, Michael Torkelson.
Yeah, number 2, Michael Torkelson's a really good player. Going to have a really good year. Only a sophomore at 6 foot 177. Extremely talented. Again, he's their kickoff man. He's been their punt returner. 7.5 minutes here left to play in the ball game. Chieftains lead 24-7. Tahlequah will take the snap on first down. Try to throw it deep down the field, and it's almost intercepted.
Whew, Jace McIntosh is going to wish he had that one back. It's good coverage. Went right through his hands. And I will say, the linebackers, inside linebackers, have done a great job of covering in the pass game this year. That is something that's hard for a high school linebacker to do. But they're doing a really good job of getting depth in those hook to curl zones and creating an issue for the quarterback.
Yeah, these are some really good backers the Chieftains have, and Tigers will go quick and try to throw that quick stop route again to Michael Torkelson on the sideline, and it's incomplete. So it'll be 3rd and 10.
Camden George and Deshaun Coach checking back into the game.
A lot of hands on hips here for both teams. First game of the year. And we're into the 4th quarter, and it's been a battle. Chieftains lead 24-7. 7 minutes left. Trips formations to the quarterback's left, the wide side of the field. Tigers going right to left, and they'll sprint out to the quarterback's offside, but he makes a great throw. He plants his feet, makes a really, really good throw for a gain of 10 and a first down.
Well, he took an absolute shot after he threw that.
He took a shot.
From number 7, Sequoia Hall, but nonetheless made a good throw to guess who? Mr. Tolbert.
Torkelson.
Or, yes, Torkelson.
Tolbert to Torkelson. If you're a Tigers fan, you're going to hear that a lot this year. Or you may hear Samson to Torkelson.
Well, I'm glad we don't have to say it a lot. That's a tough one.
It's really not that tough one. Nonetheless. Trips formation for the Tigers. To the wide side of the field. And they'll try to throw the ball into the end zone, and he's good coverage. Great coverage.
Yeah, that was really good
incomplete.
coverage by number 15, Emmanuel Johnson, as they try to take a shot to the end zone.
Seeing several different defensive backs check into the game at times for the Chieftains tonight, which is good for the overall depth of the unit. A lot of guys getting experience.
Yeah, and I would say that was an area where they struggled last year defensively, but this year obviously made some really good improvements to the secondary.
Trips formation again to the wide side of the field, and we might get sprint out. No, we don't, but it's, whoa, false start. So that's going to back them up 5 yards.
Well, the Chieftains are leading 24-7 over the Tahlequah Tigers. Just a little under 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And we'd like to thank you for watching on YouTube at Chieftain TV and the radio listeners tuning in at KYAL AM 1550 and 99.9 FM ESPN Tulsa. And be sure, if you're listening on radio after the game, after around 10 o'clock, the Scoreboard Show will be back, hosted by Kevin Ward. We'll talk to different coaches and play-by-play callers from across the state to get caught up on the games all around the state tonight.
Including yours truly, Braden Ward. Excited to be on with Kevin sometime between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight, summarizing the game on 97.1. Another penalty for the Tigers. And that'll back them up more, so it'll be second 20 from the Chieftains' 33. So again, you'll get trips formation to the wide side of the field. Tolbert will take the snap. He'll step up and he throws a ball that could have been intercepted. And it's just about every time he throws the ball, he's taking a shot. 65 Camden George got a good lick on him there as he was throwing the football.
Really good coverage from the secondary. Just not a lot of places to go with the ball for the Tahlequah offense. And we got another 3rd and long here. I would look for number 10 or number 31, Rylan Watson, coming off the edge for this defense to put some pressure on the quarterback and record another sack. They've been able to do it several times tonight. So
spread formation, 2 receivers to the wide side of the field, out all the way wide outside of the hash. Both of them, one of them is outside of the numbers and one of them is just inside. So you think they're probably trying to get some, I think they just used their last time out. So Tigers maybe not playing to win here, but playing to get some momentum, maybe punch one in, move the football, and get some momentum for them going forward.
Well, this is a big game for the Chieftains. You know, Tahlequah beat them last year early on in the season. I believe that was week 1. But, you know, the Chieftains, I know they wanted this game back. I know they wanted to come in here tonight at home, get that first win. They have a lot to prove this year. They made it all the way to the second round of the playoffs last year, hosted their first home game in 19 years and won that game. So a lot to prove for the Chieftains, a lot of excitement around the program, and all that hard work is paying off. Obviously, a lot to clean up, but a good start here for the Chieftains.
That's right, and we've got 3rd and forever here for the Tigers. Chieftains will host UConn next week. What will be destined to be a good football game. And Tolbert will take the snap, and they'll try the screen, and it's blown up all over it. Who was that, Tanner?
Number 11, Jace McIntosh.
Number 11, Jace McIntosh, sniffed it out, and he might be hurt. He'll have to come off the field, little shaken up.
Big time hit by Jace McIntosh.
Wow, it was
Sniffing out that screen.
he was waiting on that one.
Well, the Chieftains did a good job there. They were showing pressure and then dropped out.
Tanner, this is a physical defense the Chieftains have this year.
Yeah, several big time hits.
Wow. There's going to be a lot of Tahlequah Tigers that are sore tomorrow.
And number 33.
So we've got 4th and 20 here for the Tigers, and they'll just probably throw something up here. And what should have been a false start, and I think they did call it. They did, so it'll back them up even further.
Well,
And just a dominating performance from Braxton Waters' defense.
yeah, they've been really impressive, and they were good all year last year, but this is his second year calling the defensive plays, and my goodness, there's a
What a hire that was.
yeah, great hire by Tim Holt, head coach and offensive coordinator. Just a really physical defense, and they always seem to be in the right place. And it's funny talking to him. They
High energy, up-and-coming coach. Got a bright future. And the ball's thrown up, and it's intercepted, I believe. It's better off if it wasn't intercepted because it was 4th and forever, but it was.
Well, nonetheless, Braylon Burdick, the sophomore,
We'll get a pick. Good for him.
into the game at inside linebacker. And I talked about that earlier. Their coverage at inside backer has been fantastic tonight. The linebacker coach, Josh Hicks, does a fantastic job coaching these guys. And they've got 2 really good seniors. But there you go. You see the sophomore making a play, getting the interception for, I believe, let me look at the sheet here. That is going to be the 5th turnover for the Tahlequah Tigers tonight.
So the Chieftains will take over at their own 19, leading 24-7. It'll be trips formation for them. Levi Jensen in the backfield with the junior quarterback Braddock Broughton, and he'll hand it off, and he's swarmed in the backfield, nowhere to go.
Yeah, I didn't see who blew up that play, but sent an inside linebacker on a blitz and just all over it.
A little bit of a run blitz there, it looked like. So into the game comes number 8, Dalen Williams, and number 18, Logan Mason. Jackson Stone will take a breather. Number 10, Deshaun Koch in the backfield. And here comes the freshman tight end who caught the touchdown earlier, Tanner. Remind me of his name.
Well, we're going to go with Brody, and we'll get clarification on that last name next week. Looks like the Chieftains ran out of time. They had to call a timeout to keep from getting the delay of game. What a ball game. Great start for the Chieftains. Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask the head coach, he's probably not happy about some things. There's obviously a lot to clean up, but nonetheless, you'll take the win. It's hard to win in high school football, and any chance you get to do that, you'll take it and you'll be happy with it. So, once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us on Chieftain TV, and for all radio listeners tuning in on 99.9 ESPN Tulsa.
So the Chieftains will host UConn next week. UConn was beat tonight by number 43. Was beat 43-20 by the Mustang Broncos. Bixby all over Sand Springs 49-7. Tough matchup for the Sandites taking on number 2 team in the nation. And we're back here with the Chieftains taking over in 2nd and 15. Braddock takes a snap, and it's a stretch play, and it's to number 4, Michael Bennett, and he doesn't really have anywhere to go. It looked like maybe there was some blocking there, but not much. But he'll pick up a few. So it'll be 3rd down. Clock's running. We're inside of 5 minutes. 24-7 here on opening night for the Chieftains at George F. Collins Stadium. Breezy 65-degree evening here is turned out to be one that's going to be a pretty positive one for the Chieftains.
Absolutely, and you'll take all of those cool 60-degree nights you can get the first week of September here in Oklahoma.
So spread formation. On 3rd and 10, Brax will take the snap, and he's going to try to throw, and he steps up in the pocket, and he's over. Kind of felt a little pressure there. Footwork got a little shaky, and he overthrew the seam route down the middle. And it was good coverage from the Tahlequah Tigers defense. And the Chieftains will punt it away here.
Well, inside of 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, Chieftains leading the Tahlequah Tigers 24-7. Number 13 back to punt the ball away for the Chieftains. Looks like Tahlequah is going to come after this one.
There's a flag, and I believe it's going to be a false start. So it'll back the Chieftains up more. Bartlesville getting beat by Claremore, 29-14. Muskogee trailing Rogers 47-6 in the fourth. And Stillwater beating Union 27-8. Wow. Looks like the Stillwater's going to have a tough squad this year. And the Chieftains will punt it away. And it's a good punt, but it's caught by number 2, Michael Torkelson. And it's a good return. And he's all the way down to the Chieftain 37. He fielded it at midfield. Got a 13-yard return there.
It's a good tackle by number 2, Landon Barber. Was the last man to beat to save the touchdown there.
So if you're Tahlequah, there's some things to be optimistic about for them. One of them has been number 2, Michael Torkelson. Really all over the field, only a sophomore. Going to be obviously a phenomenal player. They've got a lot to work out at the quarterback position and also on the offensive line and receiver position, but there's something positive there. They also have a tremendous back who's had a hard time getting going tonight, though. They've had a lot of success with the stop route, little hitch route, and there it is on the sideline, and they'll pick up some yardage with that. That's been the play that's maybe the only play that the Chieftains have a hard time stopping tonight, and maybe they're just willing to give it up, leading 24-7. So it'll be 3rd and 3, or 2nd and 3, excuse me, and it'll be spread formation again. And they'll throw. Oh, no, he'll take off and run with it, and he's got some room to run, and it's a good run. He'll pick up maybe a gain of 10. Down to the Chieftains 21 and a 1st and 10 inside of 4 minutes left to play.
Big number 65 came to Georgia Tech and back into the game.
Tigers moving the football here. Getting some momentum for themselves heading into next week. And they'll take a snap and they'll throw it quickly, and it's caught. It was a quick hitch route.
That was a pretty tough catch there by Kel Dobbins going down to the ground and making the tough catch. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of the tight end, number 7, Elvis Myers, the big 6'7" tight end.
So it'll be 2nd and 5, and they'll do the sprint out here. And he throws it into the end zone. A little miscommunication between quarterback and receiver there. No receiver really close, and it'll be 3rd and 5. Trips, receivers for the Tigers on the wide side of the field. They'll try to get the Chieftains to jump. They don't bite. And they'll hand it off and nowhere to go. Wow.
Number 18, Logan Mason in on the stop. But that was all caused from number 65, Camden George, just shucking the center to the side, forcing the running back to bounce it out. And let's make no mistake, number 0, Jake Gurdy, this halfback for Tahlequah, is a really good back. But this Chieftain defense has just done a fantastic job of keeping this running game limited from Tahlequah.
Yeah, don't forget number 12, Carter Mosquito, was in there as well. Coming downhill quickly from the safety position. Trips receivers with the sprint out for the Tigers on 4th down, and what a catch. Wow. A good catch from the Tigers receiver there.
Number 10, Kel Dobbins again. Well, he fit that ball right in between two Chieftains. I thought it was going to be intercepted there for a second. But Kel Dobbins there on the
What a great catch.
10-yard out route. Made a great play.
Cale Dobbins, a junior. So tight end to the quarterback's right with an H-back to his left in the pistol formation. And they'll hand it off up the middle and really know where to go. And that interior of the Chieftains defense and 65 Camden George was, of course, just right there.
All over it. Inside of 3 minutes left to go. Chieftains leading Tahlequah Tigers 24-7.
I mean, 65 Camden George is really just a wall.
He really is.
He is tough, man.
Hard to believe this is only his second year playing football since the 4th grade.
So same formation on second down here, and they'll hand it off again, and again, there's the wall. Nowhere to go. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 4. We're inside of 2 minutes here left to play at George F. Collins Stadium in Sapulpa. And the Chieftains lead 24-7 over the Tahlequah Tigers. Getting off to a tremendous start. This defense has been excellent. I'm sure if you're defense coordinator Braxton Waters, you wouldn't mind keeping them out right here. And if you're the Tahlequah Tigers, you'd love to punch it in. Get some momentum for next week. And it's a sprint out, and there's nothing there, and it's incomplete. Good coverage from the Chieftains secondary there.
Yeah, they try to run a little pick route and hit Kel Dobbins on the out route. And
it was most definitely a pick route, too. So it'll be 4th and goal from the 4 for the Tigers. A minute and a half here left to play. And the flag has been really flying all night. It's been windy.
Really windy and cool. But we will take it here in Oklahoma. And once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us on Chieftain TV and 99.9 ESPN Tulsa.
So on 4th and goal, the Tigers will take the snap and throw to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Tigers. Who was it to?
That's number 7, Elvis Myers, the big tight end. But it just looks like a miscommunication or something went wrong there on defense. There was absolutely nobody over there guarding him. It was wide open. Pretty easy touchdown for the Tigers.
If this goes through, it'll be 24-14, and the Chieftains will likely settle with that score. I believe that was the score of the first game last year with the Tahlequah Tigers, and the Tahlequah Tigers won that game. So the Chieftains return the favor here tonight, and that's exactly what we'll get because the kick will go through the uprights and the extra point is good.
Less than 2 minutes left to go. Chieftains lead 24-14. I would expect an onside here. Not a lot of time left. Tahlequah is out of timeouts, but you don't want anything crazy to happen. This Chieftain defense has been incredible. Here, as I'm looking at the stat sheet, just stopping the run. You know, I know they gave up the touchdown there, but they also, had pretty good field position to start that drive. But just a really good outing from the Chieftain defense tonight, keeping the Tahlequah Tigers under 60 yards of rushing.
And you're right, the Tigers will line up for an onside kick. And it's who else? Number 2, Michael Torkelson, to attempt it. And it's a pretty good kick, but the Chieftains recover it. Good job from the Chieftains hands team getting on it and getting down. And it's number 12, Carter Mosquito, who's really a solid player. An undersized player, but man, you wouldn't tell it from the way that he plays.
Well, I think the Chieftains should be able just to nil this out. 91 seconds left to go in this ball game.
And they will take a knee, and number 1, Jackson Stone, will be back deep as the safety man, and he's kind of got a little bit of a limp, so you hope he gets some ice on his calf or ankle or whatever's bothering him today, and then Braddock's Broughton will take a knee. And they'll have to take a few more knees. Chieftains will win this one 24-14 and go 1-0 to start the year. which you'll never complain about, but we will complain because there's a few things that need to be shored up before they host UConn next week, who's definitely going to be another tough test.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of turnovers tonight. The Chieftains coughed the ball up three times. Tahlequah coughed up the ball 5 times, so it kind of balanced out for the Chieftains. But nonetheless, several penalties. And I hate to sound negative, but there's a lot of high expectations around here, which is not something we're used to having in Sapulpa. No. So don't take it as necessarily negative. This is a good, talented football team. There's talent all over the field, and, if you ask anybody on that coaching staff, they're expecting to do big things this year, and that's not a bad thing.
No, this is, like you said, it's a talented team, top to bottom. They have depth. They have size on the offensive and defensive line. They have a returning quarterback who now has a lot of experience, including playoff experience. So we will start the season 1-0, and that's any way you want to slice it and dice it. That's a great way to start.
Yeah, the Chieftains win this one 24-14. And just a quick look here at the stats. Sapulpa had 85 yards through the air, the majority of that coming in the first half. 183 yards on the ground, and that'll do for the Chieftains. But this defense was the story tonight, only giving up 119 yards through the air to Tahlequah passing game. The majority of those coming in the fourth quarter and off of one big play. And then 59 yards on the ground for this Tahlequah offense. But the defense obviously created a lot of turnovers, was the big talking point in this game. But it's good to see the Chieftain offense get out to an early start. That 10-0 run they had in the third quarter was huge to seal this game for the Chieftains.
Yeah, phenomenal win, and thank you for joining us on Chieftain TV, 99.9 FM, AM 1550. Again, you'll hear me a little bit after 10 with Kevin Ward on 97.1 on the Scoreboard Show. So hopefully you can tune into that. But if you don't, we look forward to seeing you next week. Not seeing you. We won't see you. You're going to hear from us next week, and we look forward to that. And thank you to all of the Chieftain TV staff who helped make this possible. And a phenomenal night for the Chieftains. And that's us sounding off.